Holy shit. How you guys doing? My name is Jason Lowry. You're here with the Nerds Have Spoken. I'm with my partners of crime, Eric B., E. Wells, Mr. Quarantine Stein, whatever the fuck you want to say it, and soon to be New York Mike here a little bit later in the episode. How you guys doing this evening? Dude, I could not try to be serious looking at that shit. Like I'm trying my hardest. He's gonna have that shit glazed over with sweating on the inside.
There ain't nothing ever funny about being safe, all right?
All right, listen, man. I'm not gonna argue with you on that, bro.
Yo, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, and that just made it even better, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's hilarious. Good stuff, Wolf. But I'm doing good, man. How about you guys? Everybody having a good day?
Yeah, man. I'm doing great right now. I see Wolfenstein out here. For our listeners out there, my man's got a container over his head and 2 giant stacks of toilet paper right next to him. And he's crazy.
Hey, Wells, pull your mic back a little bit away from you. It got really loud.
All right, my bad. We good.
Oh yeah,
there we go. A little better. Yeah. All right, sorry, people. I didn't mean to yell up in your ear. I just wanted to wake y'all up.
Oh, that's all good. You may want to turn your volume down a little bit, but
just a tad. That's all.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of like when someone's writing on Facebook. Sometimes they go to send you a message and they do all caps, like if they think you're yelling at them or something.
That's funny. Oh yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear, Captain.
Right, cool beans.
Let's get back to the quarantine sign itself.
Yeah, you might want to turn it up a little bit more because you're real down a little bit. Oh my god, dude! I can't.
For the listeners, for the listeners out there, he has a toilet paper fort with his coronavirus exclusive repellent on his head. It's called a bucket, folks.
Yeah, here we go. I got a solo layout of him right now with his toilet paper fort. Hey, is there a brown thumbprint?
Yo, and he can steal podcasts. This is crazy.
That's right.
I'm not letting some virus interrupt the show.
That's right.
I mean, look, I can't touch my face. That's the idea. They tell you not to touch your face.
Don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face. I mean, this is smart. You guys laugh.
Oh my god, it's funny.
I'm the last.
Hey, man.
You guys are getting sick, and I'm here healthy in my fort.
We appreciate you taking this serious, man. We appreciate you taking this serious.
He's even got the hat sitting on the top too, on top of the box.
Oh my god!
My man got toilet paper. He can wipe his ass for days over here.
Man, hopefully you had a breath mint before you put that thing on, because it's gonna get hot as shit in there.
My nose is itching.
You can't scratch it.
Can't scratch my nose.
Oh my god, man, that is classic, bro.
Hey, if you take your hand and you slap it against the plastic real hard, real fast, and rub, it might work.
Oh, no, I know.
Good stuff. Well, E. Wells, man, how was your week, bud?
It was good, man. I had a pretty good week. Y'all can hear me good?
Yep.
All right?
Yeah.
Clear.
All right, cool. The week was all right, man. It's not too bad. I went to go see. Well, I didn't go see it. I did the illegal watching of Bloodshot.
We don't know what you're talking about, sir. So you saw Bloodshot? You saw Bloodshot?
Yeah. So I went to the movie theater and I saw Bloodshot.
Yeah.
But I watched. I want to say the first 30 to 40 minutes of it.
Oh, is it that bad?
You
can get past the first 30 minutes.
I don't want to be that guy, man, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are actually fans of
man, they don't get out of here with their feelings.
I want to hear what you think.
Get out of here.
What you say, Wolf?
I want to hear what you think. Do it. Let's hear it. Don't be shy.
All right. Well, I mean, it tells you a lot if I couldn't get past the first 30 or 40 minutes of it. I think
dang.
The movie's like what? I think a movie's like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that.
Wow,
first
bro.
30 or 40 minutes, I was like, yeah, I can't get through this. And I just stopped. I was like, yeah, no. I'll try again. I will try again to watch it again. And I wasn't tired. I watched this like at like
You funny.
I watched it at like
Now-
5 o'clock, 5
Now,
p.m.
in all
Tried, and I
fairness,
was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this.
in all fairness, did the guy look like Wolfenstein with a toilet paper fort like around him when he's trying to record it, or what?
He was about as pale as that
What's up?
toilet tissue.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
right. But I mean, I don't know how true they stayed to the story about it, of how everything came about. I don't know how. I never read the comics, so I'm not really sure how they stayed on track with that.
I didn't read it
But,
either, so
But they did do a good job of developing it from the beginning. What it seems like they definitely went into, how he became who he is and all kind of stuff. So
Well, let's get into it. So
from I
what
can
was
see,
it?
looks like it.
What was it that, I mean, because it sounds like from what you're saying, it sounds like it could be interesting, but what was it that said, I can't get past this past 30 minutes? How did it bore you?
I'm not a Vin Diesel fan. He's dry to me. And where I think Vin Diesel succeeds a lot is obviously in movies like Fast and Furious, where he doesn't have to talk much.
Okay.
I'm serious. Like he's an action kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why Fast and Furious did so well. He doesn't have to talk much. He has a couple of lines there, whatever.
He had some
And
good
he
lines
makes-
in Fast and the
he-
Furious, man.
Give me a line right now.
It doesn't
great.
matter.
Top
It
quarter
doesn't
mile or
matter
top-
if
no,
you
I'm just kidding.
exactly. It doesn't matter if you win by a quarter mile or an inch. That's a line. That's a classic line of his in that movie.
And how long did it take him to say that line?
It was in the
About a
first
minute.
movie. What are you talking about?
What else did I say? It didn't take, but I'm saying he didn't have to speak much. He had a line here and there. That's what I was saying.
Come
You don't have to have any
on,
big
man.
conversations.
He had some good
He's a great action
dialogue.
star. He's
When
a
him
great
and Brian
action star.
talked,
Triple
when they
X was
kicked it.
good
Oh,
because he's an action guy, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. That's why I feel like
man.
what was it? Pitch
Pitch
what's the other
Black?
movie on this? Yeah, Pitch Black.
yeah, dude,
Like,
those
you know what I
films
mean?
were
Like-
pretty good.
and Riddick.
And Riddick. There you
Now
go.
I agree. Like those
Yeah.
movies weren't meant to have a whole lot of dialogue in it, but the Fast and the Furious movies, man, I have to disagree with you on. I think you should go back and watch at least the first couple again, but don't skip 2 because he's not in there, obviously. But skip 3. He's only in the end.
Actually, he is
Go
in the
from
second
1 to
one,
4.
but briefly.
In the
Yeah,
second one.
briefly, yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
no.
I'm thinking
No,
of
that is-
Tokyo
wait,
Drift. I'm
what's the
thinking
second?
Tokyo Drift.
That's
was
why I
3.
said skip 3 because he was only in the end of that one.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Spoiler
that was
alert.
it. That's right.
But
If you
yeah,
haven't
just do 1
seen
and
it-
4, man. I think you might like it.
Yeah.
I think you might disagree with your own. I think you might backtrack that comment that you made there, buddy.
I don't know, bro. Listen, I'm not saying Fast and Furious is bad. I'm not saying Fast and Furious.
No.
is bad.
I know
Fast
you're
and
not
Furious
saying
is
that,
good.
but I know he had more dialogue in those movies than what you're giving him credit for.
Yeah,
Hater.
maybe. But that's just I'm not being a hater. That's my
On with
opinion.
your nerd week. Let's go.
Here we go.
Next up. Anyway, go check it out. I say everybody go check it out. Why
Yeah,
not?
man. How was the rest of your week?
It's good, man. It was good. I didn't get any hauls this week. I picked up that McFarlane Doom figure.
Nice.
You
What?
can see it in here.
You
put it
bought
in the
another
camera here.
McFarlane figure after you didn't like the
yeah,
Batman?
But but see, this is different to me. This one, it feels a little different. The joints to me are a little different as well. With the Batman one, and like I said, I probably got a bad one, but the hand just came apart real easily.
Yeah, that sucked though.
As soon as I took it out, the hand came right off. I was like, okay, this is going right back.
Oh.
He lost
the
his
reason
hand.
The reason I went in on this is because I've been a big Doom fan since it was on the computer.
Oh, nice.
Like
Yeah, you're an OG
me and my
fan.
boy. Yeah, me and my boy. Shout out to my boy Kevin. We used to sit up in the basement and we just play Doom all night. We turn the lights off and we just put Doom on the computer and we just go nuts, man.
Lights off
I
and
used to
nuts.
love-
Okay, then.
Yeah. Shut up. Why you gotta turn everything into something crazy?
Dude, Wolfenstein right now looks like he just farted and it just rolled up into his
Into his mask.
My bad,
man.
Wales. My bad, dude.
No.
Nah, man, it's all good. It's all lovely.
Well, he had that meat for his birthday, so
Shout out to the cowboy steak. Let's go.
Mm.
But we'll get
All
into
right,
that
bro.
later.
Yep. So what's up, man? Everybody else week? What's going on?
Hang on, Will. I got a question for you.
yeah.
I can't see my watch right now because this is not the best helmet. But can you tell me what time it is?
Yeah, Ian, what
You-
time is it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me check my watch too. It's time to nerd up or shut up. Let's go.
Yeah, that's it.
Man. Nice.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
go.
It's also time to take this off.
He's like,
He's
thank
getting a little
God,
fancy
dragon
right
breath.
Comedy.
I can smell you from here, bro. Dang.
He's like, my
Keep
upper
up,
lip is
bunghole.
atrocious.
Yeah.
So, Wolf, how was your week, man?
My week was fine. It was full of hospital visits and
Yeah.
yeah, we had a couple things happen here this week. My stepdaughter has pneumonia. We just took her in Wednesday night to be sure.
Dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't know, man. I didn't know at all, dude. Sorry to hear
Yeah.
that.
No, she'll be all right. She'll be all right. She got her medication.
Just have
It's
her
good,
take
though.
it easy, dude. That stuff's
doesn't
no
Play with
joke.
pneumonia, man.
Yeah, it doesn't help that she has to go over to her father's house where they smoke all day. So,
Oh, no.
Jesus. Yeah. And that makes it worse, too. You know?
that's what's causing it, and we're not happy, and they won't listen to us. And so,
Right.
What are you gonna do?
Yikes, man. I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
No, it's all right. She's good. She got her medicine. She's getting better.
Yeah. What did they put her on? A
Everything
little
well,
steroid and some other stuff?
I'm not sure, but I didn't see the bottle. I'm not sure what they gave her.
Oh, good,
To be
man.
honest. But no, it's just Crystal had to go Friday night for something, but she's okay. That's been it. We slept all day yesterday because we were tired.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I didn't get anything either, unfortunately. It's been a quiet week. There they are right now. Hello, family.
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Hey,
Hope everybody
family.
feels better.
Yeah, man. Tell him we
Yes,
said hey,
yeah,
Wolf,
man.
and
said
definitely
hello.
thoughts and prayers to him, man.
Thanks,
Keep us
guys.
posted on that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
But Eric B, what are you up to, man? You had a busy little weekend there, my friend.
Yeah, man. I did, man. So the running joke in the collector world, for those who know me, knows I share a profile with my wife, and her birthday was on the 25th of last month. So a lot of people who know me thought that it was my birthday, but it actually wasn't. Today is actually my birthday. So I had a great day today. I went to work yesterday, which was cool. I mean, you got to knock them hours out, but it was busy, which was good and surprising with everything that's going on out there in the world. So that was cool. Just basically prepped all this week, man. We had to cancel our hangout yesterday due to the coronavirus. We were supposed to meet up at the Nerd Out store with Randy and a couple of guys. We had about 9 or 10 guys scheduled to come up, man. A couple of guys coming down from Flint, which is about an hour away. A couple of guys from the local area here. Supposed to meet up and, eat some pizza, talk toys, kick it in a little bit, and probably buy some stuff there. So we had to cancel that. That's been postponed. But today's been great, man. I asked my wife for a cowboy steak, and I got a chance to grill that up, which is my first time making that. Came out pretty good, if I do say so myself.
Look good.
Yeah, man. Thanks, dude. Thanks. And yeah, today's been great. Got a lot of birthday wishes today, which is great.
Nice.
So thank you, everyone, for that. For showing me the love, showing me that you can still say it's my birthday too, even though I share a profile with my wife. But yeah, man, I got a lot of happenings. My coworker got me a $50 gift card to Amazon this week.
Nice.
The wife and him and his girlfriend did. He's dating the office manager, so they're really nice people. And shout out to them. Shout out to George and Jen for that. They did not have to do that, but they're great people. I love them to life. The wife and kids got me a couple Macy's gift card. They made my mashed potatoes, so that was great. And then I got a great card for my kids, man, and I want to show it off because it's kind of collector related. But if you guys can see this here,
hang on,
it
I'll solo you. All right, there you go.
There we go. So it says "My Incredible Dad," but if you pull up, it has like the
That's
Superman
cool.
logo,
That's cool.
man.
Superman come up.
Yeah,
That's
man.
cool.
Yep, and my
That's
kids
dope.
think I'm like a superhero, man. So to them, I'm their superhero, and it was really great. Amazing that my wife got me a great card too, of which I don't want to share with you guys. This for me only. But no, it was some nice hands in there.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
But no, to be serious, It wasn't that bad, but it was pretty cool though.
So how many ounces was that
touching.
cowboy steak that you had?
It was 3 pounds and 16 ounces. No, I'm sorry, not 16 ounces. 3.04. Yeah, so it's 3 pounds and 4 ounces. which is cool. I mean,
Damn,
it was
dude.
huge. I'm never gonna eat all that in one day.
I was gonna ask, how does your jaw feel after taking all that meat?
I'm gonna punch you in the nose. No, man, it's something you cut right off, and then you actually gotta eat that in thirds, man. You can't eat a lot of that. At least I can't. Not anymore. Back in the day, my greedy self, I could, but since I've been working out, my stomach has shrunk just a little bit. My metabolism is going, which is good. But yeah, man, it was good though. It was really good. But I did get some stuff this week, which is great. The guys in the Michigan group, a couple of guys got together, surprised me totally with the in-game Thanos from Figure Arts, which was phenomenal.
Nice piece.
But that wasn't the only thing. They also got me my Doctor Strange that I had been looking at and looking for a little while. I just been waiting on the price to come down a little bit. And it dropped a lot, but the guys were so gracious to not only tell me not to get it, because I mean they fooled me pretty good. They told me it probably would drop more by the end of the month, so just wait with everything that's going on. And I was like, you know what, you guys are right. I'm just gonna wait. And them fools fooled me, man. So shout out to Jeremy B, shout out to Matt B, and also to Jim, who came up this weekend too, man. So shout out to them guys for getting together and doing this great gesture for me. They did not have to do that, but I definitely appreciate it. And then I got a couple more things and I'm done. I did get the Mark IV War Machine. That's the one from the Infinity War. The one that's big and bulky, has all the cannon attachments, which is great. Got an excellent deal on that. Nice. And then I also got the Mark 50, which I got a great deal on this one as well. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Mark 50 Iron Man armor. So I got a few different armors now. So that's pretty cool. Trying to catch up to Jason over there. Then the last thing I got is the Play Arts Kai Cyclops, man, which is pretty great. So I already had the Wolverine, and I got this one as well. So shout out to Matt B for the hookup on that as well, man. So all in all, I had a great week. Preparing for this upcoming week, man, and that's about it. Lowry, what about you, buddy?
Hold on real quick. I think your daughter had some successful surgery. Just want to say we're happy to hear that.
Congratulations
on that. She did. Yeah, thanks, absolutely. Man. How could I forget that? Friday, she did go in and have her port removed, and it came out very quickly, and nothing left behind after their x-ray, which is great. It's something that we thought would take a little while, at least about 2 hours, but they got it out in like 30 minutes, man. And nice. And then they pretty much broomed us out the hospital later that night. But I understand with everything that's going on. But it was a success. It was easy going. And once she came to, she was up and ready to go. She had our popsicle and everything there. So thank you all for your thoughts and prayers, especially you guys here on the show, who I'm with every week, for just constantly checking up on me with that and checking up on my family. And I thank you. Thank you.
Oh, most welcome, dude. Yeah, we were worried about her and we were hoping that everything turned out all right. So.
Yeah, man. Thanks, bud. So what about you, Lowry? You had a pretty decent week yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, just dealing with the whole coronavirus and everything getting shut down in our area and stuff like that. So I definitely tell you, it's been interesting with this whole thing. It was actually nice to actually have hardly anybody on the road trying to drive home.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, dude. It don't usually I'm 42 miles one way from work to my house. And usually it takes me like an hour, give or take, depending on traffic. And then I made it home in like 45 minutes. Like it was amazing. So
nice.
But nice, as for me this week, we're doing hauls, right?
Yeah, man. What you get?
So I ended up, honestly, I forgot that I even ordered this and paid for it a while ago. I got this bad boy right here.
Oh, nice.
I've got the Spider-Man Far From Home from Mezco.
I think
in fact, here for our visual.
That thing is killer, dude. That's probably the best looking Spider-Man I've seen them do.
It's a good Spidey.
Yeah, it is.
The suit doesn't look saggy anywhere. It's not wrinkled up nowhere.
I mean, he's kind of got like saggy ass a little bit, like with the way they did it. I mean,
that's
no matter
same problem.
No matter what, I mean, it's still got that saggy crotch because of the material that they use. But I mean, all in all, it's pretty good. I enjoy
Yeah,
it.
man.
Yeah, nobody
It
likes
looks
us
good.
crowds. Everybody needs a good crotch, man. Nice and tight. Keep it tight out here.
All right, you got something you want to tell me?
I'm talking about figures, guys. I'm talking about figures.
So
that's
then,
what I call mine anyway. That's what I call mine.
Yeah. So I ended up getting Infinity War figure arts Black Panther.
Nice. And
It's
that's the one with the like vibranium suit, right?
Yeah, it's the King of Wakanda version. I'll pull it out real quick.
Yeah, I see you.
No pun intended.
Yes, sir.
All day.
Indeed. All
All
day.
day.
So everything's good on this figure.
Yeah, that one looks nice.
Yeah,
Look at
man. That purple pops.
I like it better than the
Got a
silver.
Hold on now.
The only thing
I like that purple.
The only thing I don't like about this, and I pointed out to a bunch of people, so they definitely made this thing to where the head looks really good on this. The Black Panther mask or whatever. It looks great. You know what I mean? Because the way the neck is.
Mm-hmm.
See this? Like how it looks great.
Mhm.
But then when you put the actual head on, when you put the T'Challa's head on it, why does he look like a hunchback or something? Like you see it? Like it's too. Do you see it?
It's too short.
I see it. Yeah, it's too short.
It's like they stuck it too far down. And supposedly somebody in some groups made an adapter for this. Somebody talked about that. I forgot who it was. Said it might have been Sam. We were talking the other night on the Hangout.
Certain areas though of the movie, he did kind of have that like
he did.
short neck look or whatever. And I don't know if that may be what they use, but I definitely want a T'Challa head sculpt because I'm not buying another Black Panther. Like I already have a Marvel Legend one, about the only one I kept from Marvel Legends, and I do have I think I have the Infinity War one as well with the rocks. I think they came from Infinity War.
No, I think that might. You know what? Actually, it might have been. I can't remember.
Yep, I'm looking at the box here. It does say Infinity War. Yep.
And then, yep.
Yeah. Boom.
And then I got this bad boy right here. Oh, I love this figure. So
Oh, nice.
So I picked up the Endgame War Machine Mark 6. Obviously, a lot of you guys know that I collect a lot of these. I got a whole Hall of Armor. There we go.
Nice.
Focus a little
Nice.
better. It's a nice figure, man. It's got a nice matte finish. It's got the really nice silver on it.
It's really sleek. Really sleek.
Mm-hmm. The only bad thing about this thing is this. Like, it's just loose.
Oh, yeah. Them shoulder cannons have always been a floppy mess.
Yeah, and like, it popped off because they give you the option of you can move it. But it's pretty nice. I mean, so I got the two figure arts figures from Torco Collectibles.
Nice.
That was this week. He hit me up.
Now, let me ask you, Lowry, were those Japanese exclusives?
Yes, because it actually has the cartons.
Yeah. Okay, I figured as much because I hadn't seen them stateside at all yet.
No, And so, like, I mean, I love them. I mean, these are great figures. Got nice packaging and everything. The only bad thing about the Japanese ones, though, it doesn't give you as many accessories as the U.S.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's all I got this week that came in. But definitely, check those figures out, man. They're pretty good.
Yeah, man, that is a good haul, Wells, for sure. For sure. Well, man, there's been a lot of rumors circulating in the nerdom. What's canceled, what's going out there, what's going to stay on due to the coronavirus. So let's get into a few of those things. Especially with the biggest one I think out the gate is Disney closing all of their theme parks. Yes. That is huge.
Yeah,
that's very big.
You know it's serious when you got a multi-billion-dollar corporation deciding to close all of their theme parks, and not just in the state, like worldwide. They have closed everything. So that's that should have been closed, right?
Yeah.
But that also covers the ones here. All of their cruise lines have been canceled 100%. So Disney is taking precautions, and while I understand what they're doing, I still can't help but to feel bad for the people who were like in the middle of traveling down there. Some people still on flights. Some people had to find out as they showed up to the gate. And I know people will be like, well, they should have just followed the news or just tried to call or this, that, and the other. But Disney didn't make this call right away. This
No,
is
they
something
didn't.
that they pondered. And like any billion-dollar corporation would do, they pondered and decided to close at the last minute. So hopefully a lot of those people can at least get some type of reprieve in regards to the money that they've already shelled out, so that this doesn't affect them too bad. And hopefully they get to go one day.
Eric, is your brother able to get home?
So finally, he's on his way home
Nice.
from the UK.
Good.
His flights kept getting canceled. Although there wasn't a ban to the UK, even when it went into effect for overseas, all of Europe, the UK was excluded from that. Why? I don't know 100%. Obviously, I can speculate, but I don't know why that is the case. But even though he wasn't restricted from coming back home, their airlines had cut off transportation internationally. So he was stuck for a minute, about 3 days, and couldn't get back home. So thank God he's back home. Even when he was on his way over there is when all this stuff started coming down. And to be fair and be honest, man, I was a little worried. I don't normally get worried about a whole lot. I typically keep my head about a lot of things. But that one had me a little shook. It's my oldest brother. Love him to life. He's on my dad's side, man, and did not want to see him get stuck over there. He got a wife and kids himself over here. Although his kids are older, his grandkids wouldn't have understood. So I'm glad that he made it home safe. Thanks for asking.
Good to hear. Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So what do you guys think about these parks closing? What do you expect to happen in the coming soon? I mean, I know the future's uncertain right now, but it's fun to speculate sometimes. So what are you guys thinking?
Honestly, I think it's a good play on their part. I mean, it kind of sucks they're going to lose a lot of money. But I mean, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that may turn out of there like day in, day out. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, so don't quote me. But as many people as turn in and out, all it takes is one person to go in there sick, and it's just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, a lot of people, like, just the country obviously is divided with this, how the seriousness is. But for a lot of people, it may not be that serious. But there's some of us, like with health conditions, stuff like that, where they do have to take it serious.
Absolutely.
Young kids, people with ailments, stuff like that. So you just got to be safe, man. I think with that, I think they did a good thing on that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it was a good idea.
Yeah,
it makes sense to close them.
Yeah, I can't find an argument for that. I mean, like you said, how many people go through there? One person can mess it all up.
Yeah, indeed, man. And it's crazy because it wasn't just Disney that was affected, but almost everything is shutting down. And something is important to us, man. We love TFCon. A lot of us go. A lot of us didn't plan on going to Orlando this year, but even that got canceled. And it took them a lot to even make that decision. You can tell they were struggling with it. They had thought they came up with a plan B to take precautions, and then eventually they just shut it down. And it does leave a lot of people out who was trying to get money back in that. Although I think Justin L, I was talking to him earlier through one of the chats, and he's gotten his money back. He just has to get his flight money back. So we'll see how that works. But TFCon, man, canceled. Then this could have a ripple effect on what we do. You know what I mean? Like what we look out for. There's a lot that comes out of TFCon, right? I mean, Lowry, you're kind of behind the scenes on some of that stuff, and setting up booths and designing layouts and stuff like that. And also, dealing with certain things that come across, like, looking at test shots and stuff like that. So what do you think we're going to miss out on with TFCon here? And again, let me be clear. Just because I say we're missing out on it doesn't take away from the seriousness of this virus. It is very serious, and we take it very serious. But the fact of the matter is there's things that people will miss. So what are some of the things we can look forward to missing out on this year, Lowry?
Well, it's like, take for instance, like, when we go to set up the Agabus booth, we're around all these people before even the crowds start coming in. So, like, take for instance, we go and set up the booths, we set up all the products. People come in with the prototypes. You're not going to see, at least, I don't know how they're going to plan it out. Usually at TFCon, you see some sort of prototypes. of figures. You probably aren't going to see that. You might see some pictures because usually about 2 weeks out, they start showing pictures of some of these like exclusives and everything else. And the last 2 weeks, I think I saw one exclusive.
You saw the MMCRC, that RC.
Yeah, there was only one exclusive that they popped out. And there's usually been like 4 or 5, somewhere right around there, depending.
You've seen a ton by now.
So you would have seen that by now, which, that's kind of disappointing. But in all fairness, like it's actually great that they actually canceled that, and I'm assuming that they're refunding everybody's money.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Or doing something towards the next TFCon or something. And as for getting stuff overseas, like they've been kind of shutting stuff down. I mean, we get the prototypes from overseas. You're not going to see it.
Yeah.
So there are surprisingly enough, a lot of people don't realize there are some big players that behind the scenes that actually show up to TFCon that a lot of people don't know about.
Really?
And they're not going to be there. Yeah, there's some like third party guys that show up there. A lot of people don't realize, and they just walk around just being quiet, not saying anything and just observing. Yep. Seeing people's reactions. Yep. It's been going on since I've been going since Charlotte in
that makes sense,
2015. So it's definitely impacted all around. I mean, I know some of us have gotten out of Transformers. Me, for one, I'm still in it. I know some of you guys are still in it.
Oh yeah, man.
A lot of our friends have gotten out of it, and it may not matter as much to them, but it's also a big meetup, TFCon, for a lot of us, and it's taken into account as a whole. Like everything is just getting crazy,
Yeah, for a lot of the guys who have gotten out of Transformers, they still come to TFCon because it is one of the biggest parties that the Realm of Collectors have every year. It's a 3-day party practically. And some of them get down there a little early so they can actually spend more intimate time with the guys that they know on a regular basis. But yeah, man, it's just a big old hangout. And even though Orlando's being affected and a lot of guys said that they weren't going to go to that, this could affect the fall show. I mean, you just never know. You just never know.
Yeah,
I think it'll affect the fall show.
Go ahead, Wells.
No, go ahead, Larry. My bad.
No. What I was going to say was, you never know. What if they turn around and decide they may do a show early or something in the fall or something, just to kind of make up for all this stuff that had happened? I mean, you got the one in Toronto coming up here in I think June or something like that, somewhere right around there. So, it's a lot to take in, to be honest. I mean, we're still going to go. I mean, like Eric B said, a lot of us go to this thing mainly just for hangouts, meetups. It's like a big get together, basically with all of our friends, family, like us. Like we did like the Bang Bus. You know what I mean? To Chicago. Long live the Bang Bus.
All the stories that came off of that trip.
Dude, that was a great one. But yeah, so I mean, it's like Beth and I love doing stuff like that, and we'll keep. God, this sounds horrible. We'll keep doing the Bang Bus as long as everybody wants to. So,
I mean, it's been working. It's been working out for y'all, so might as well keep rolling with it.
It's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
To be clear, let's clarify, because I know some people gonna send us some emails or send us some chats. The Bang Bus was literally just a bunch of friends taking a trip from one part of the country to the middle part of the country, and it was just cheaper to get a bus. So, and they also picked up Josh Fisher along the way, which was great because that was the first time a lot of us had met Josh, especially after he had his leg amputated and has now become our pirates.
Unofficial spokesperson, I guess you would say. But yeah, so like I had set up like the first couple years, like it was basically just Justin, Loretta, Bethany, and us just traveling over there, meeting up with people. And then Chicago, 2 years ago, I guess, we decided to do this, rent a big old like creeper looking van that could hold like 11
passenger van.
Yeah. And so we ended up loading this mother up, and we drove from Virginia all the way out to Chicago. I mean, it isn't that far. It's like 12 hours, but 12 hours with like 11 people and nothing but packages and a lot of hiccups, a lot of farts, and a lot of burping been going on in that thing. So,
don't forget the snoring.
Yeah, the snoring too. Oh my God.
kill Josh.
Dude,
A lot of snoring.
So yeah, I mean, just a lot. A lot of us got a lot closer during that trip, and all of us get closer every year when we meet up with these things.
Yeah,
and
man.
shout out to the guys at
That's what's
Roma Collectors for kind of getting all this together with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So,
Absolutely.
Indeed.
But I definitely say that it's gonna make a slight impact because people look forward to every TFCon, whether they go or not. Just seeing the reveals, watching the videos of all the people that are at the convention showing like the third party panel. They had the third party panel. It didn't happen. So who knows if they're going to release those online or not? You know what I mean?
Right. And they may not even have any slides, to be fair. I mean, a lot of those people are just getting back to work over there in China. So their concern is not TFCon right now. It's the health. And of course, they want to get some money.
Yeah.
But it's getting people back to work, getting everybody healthy. So they could then produce the products that we all know and love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Family and health first.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, no doubt. I have no doubt. I mean, every time something like this happens, we seem to, as a people, and when I say people, I mean the human race, we bounce back stronger, man. Our bodies tend to find antibodies that help us stave this stuff off in the long run. And then with the new advances of medication, man, I have no doubt that we will come back stronger from this. No doubt.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what we do best. We bounce back.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, another big thing that happened, man, over the past couple of days, and I think Lowry, you posted this in our group chat, is that Bill Gates has stepped down from the board of directors at Microsoft.
Yeah, he was saying something about he stepped down because he wanted to concentrate on his
charity,
like his charities, philanthropies, and stuff like that. Like he wanted to concentrate on all that stuff, and it seemed like he was trying to do, because that man has a lot. He's probably one of the people in the world that has so much stuff going on. He's got his hands in so many different things.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is that he donates a lot to Alzheimer's research, which has been huge. A lot of the research, a lot of the breakaway like medications and therapies and stuff that's come out of it has been a direct cause of Bill Gates and his philanthropy.
So I mean, he hasn't had. I mean, he has a little bit of an impact with Microsoft, the last couple of years. But it seems like if you've been watching, I think it's been since 2014. I could be wrong. That he's been slowly moving out.
Yeah, it's been a little bit before that.
Yeah.
So when I was working with the company, I got a chance to meet him when we opened up our first store. We got a chance to meet Steve Ballmer, and even then, like you said, he was starting to his involvement with the day-to-day stuff with the company had already been over. He was just on the board, and he was an advisor in many different areas. When Ballmer was there, that was his right-hand man. Like he's seen Ballmer come up from Michigan and work his way up to corporate CEO. And he handpicked Ballmer, although they still had the vote on it. He handpicked that guy, and so he knew the company was in good hands. And then he also co-signed the hiring of, I think it's Nadella, who's now their current CEO. And
Satya Nadella.
Yeah, man, he's an intricate type of human being. He's a really nice guy. As much money as he makes, you would think like the normal social norms that go with that would be like he'd be a prick or stuck up or this, that, and other, but he's still the same guy, man. Really nice dude. We had a pleasure of meeting him, and it does suck to see him go, because he still had his little insight that he had on things. You can tell, like, okay, this is Bill still guiding some of these things through, but it's not nearly as big as what it was when he first started the company. But kudos to him for taking a step back to focus on things that can help people. That's big. That's huge.
I mean, if it weren't for that man, like him and others like him, we wouldn't have as much as advances as we would with computers, everything. So definitely wish him luck on his further adventures. So.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Indeed. Shout out to the gate man. That's oh man. All right, so I need to know who's gamers on the platform besides myself. Yeah, man.
Not much anymore.
Yo,
not much anymore.
I've been addicted. It's kind of funny. I've been kind of addicted playing Call of Duty on the mobile version lately.
Oh man, that thing is sick. I still gotta catch up, dude, because I had promised one of the guys on the Breaking the Mold show, man, that I was gonna get on and get going, but I got so busy with some things. But I've been working on it, man. Dave, I've been working on it, man. So we're gonna get this plan together.
I gotta hit him up because I just started doing it. Like, it was funny because I was like, because I haven't played too many games. It's just mainly when people come over, we get drinking, we have fun, we pop something on, we play. But I don't play as regularly as I used to, and so my nephew keeps hitting me up and he wants me to play Call of Duty with him. I mean, some of you guys met him at TFCon just in.
Yeah, man.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
He's funny as hell. He
he's very, very mannerable too. He has very, very good manners. Yeah. I mean, that first time you asked me to take him to the restroom so you can finish doing what you needed to do at the booth, I was happy to do it, no problem. Mm-hmm. But the second time, he just came up to me very polite. He was like, "Mr. Eric, can you take me to the bathroom?" How can you say no to a kid like that?
Yeah.
He had good manners, man.
This is also the same kid that yelled out, what was it at Reston 2? Was it 3 years ago or whatever it was? That yelled out Beast Wars sucks. Like,
yeah, it's great.
Yes, I remember that.
Wow. Nice.
The whole room got quiet and people just turned, and I was like, to this day, he still says that too. Like, but
he said it last year in wrestling.
Yeah, he said it. Yeah, he said it wrestling again too. He does
those guns, man.
And so it was kind of interesting. I actually had a conversation, playing with Call of Duty. I'm getting ready to start playing with him, and then he starts talking to me about Thanos. Like, who do you think would win in a fight between Thanos and Darkseid? And I was like, then he's like, Thanos a sissy without that glove. Against Darkseid, I was like, damn,
nice.
It was awesome. So.
Nice.
He's definitely he loves Transformers. He's definitely in the comics. And I have to show you guys some pictures sometime, or get him on here so you guys can see it. But dude, he does some phenomenal sketches. Like, nice. He's been showing me sketches of him like doing It. Like the new, the newer version, It. He loves It.
Yeah, Pennywise.
Yeah, Pennywise from It. He did freehand sketches of this, and I was just like, dude, this looks like a professional artist drew this, and he's only like 13. I mean,
man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
that's crazy, man. But let's get into that a little bit, because the little fella brings up an interesting conversation, man. Who do you guys think will win between Darkseid and Thanos? That's a good one. I like it.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I was gonna ask the same question. That really is a good one. I mean, Thanos he's not a sissy without the glove. I want to call him a sissy per se.
Well, he said something about, he's like, you take the glove away from Thanos, what else does he have? He's just a brute that fights. And I was just like, well, yeah,
pretty good at it though.
Yeah, but he goes, he's like, Darkseid doesn't have a glove. He's like, he'll just blast out of his eyes and screw you up. So I was just like, fair point. Like, so that's actually that's a good one to come back to. We got to get New York Mike on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak last on this. What do you think, Wells? You started to talk on it a little bit.
I don't know, man. That's really a good one. If I would go with Thanos only because, yes, he is a brute. He has the strength and everything, but he's also a very smart man. And I feel like he finds some way to beat Darkseid that somehow. So I would go with Thanos if I had to pick one. I just think he's really smart. He's a brute fighter, but he's a tactically smart fighter. So, we saw what we did to the Hulk. I mean, he made him beg for his mama. I mean, at the end of the day. So, I don't know. I would give it to Thanos if I had to.
Good stuff.
I think I'm with you. Yeah, I think I'm with you. Because, I mean, like you said, he took out the Hulk. No problem. Hulk's supposedly the strongest there is.
On Earth.
That makes him stronger than Superman. That makes him stronger than a lot of people. I imagine Darkseid as well. So, I mean, I think that I have to give it to Thanos right now.
Yeah. I mean, I give it to Thanos for two main reasons, but I got a couple more to support it. First, Superman has beat Darkseid before, correct?
Oh yeah.
All right, and Superman didn't do it just with his eye beams and his freeze breath. He did it with his brute strength, and he's nowhere near, in my opinion, as smart as Thanos. So if a brute can beat up Darkseid, then Thanos has a chance any day of the week. Because not only, like you said, Wells, he's not only is he smart, but he's a tactician when he fights. And when you get somebody who's that technical, I mean, it might be lights out, man. It might be lights out for Darkseid.
Yeah.
It might be lights out because Darkseid will only be able to keep him away so long, right? With the I beam, whatever they call that ray. But he gets close to him, it's a wrap.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, it's like take for instance, like I think like inherent power. I think Darkseid, however you want to say it, he would take it, even though that Thanos has telekinesis, like from what I remember, telepathy and everything, but it's not.
But that's only because of the stones. Like I don't think he has that as a.
Yeah, I don't think that's his power. Yeah,
it's like he's got the Infinity Gauntlet, but every time you circle back around to Thanos, it's like it always talks about his power at the Infinity Gauntlet. I think if they would fight one-on-one without like inherent powers, I think Thanos would wreck him. Like just straight up fighting, like Thanos would wreck him.
But that's just it. Like let's dig into that a little deeper because it sounds like you're going for Darkseid, and I think that's a. I'm
a little bit of both. I'm kind of like down the middle when it comes to that, depending on what they do.
50-50?
Yeah.
But did we say that? Are we? And I'm sorry if I forgot. Did we say in the beginning whether he had the gauntlet, or not?
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter, right? All right.
I pick him without the gauntlet. To be fair,
I was talking without the gauntlet. Yeah, I was talking if he didn't have the gauntlet. But I mean, either which way, if he has the gauntlet, forget it. It's over.
It's over.
But I was talking without it. Without it, I think he would still win.
He snapped that dude to dust, but without it, I think. I think it'll be a battle. I'm not gonna say that he's gonna mop the floor with him.
No,
but he's gonna find a way to get close to him because think about what Thanos did to the Avengers for over 10 years. He decided to. I think the whole reason why he sent Loki to retrieve the Tesseract and then he sent that army was to test to see where they were. He had been testing them for years. Ultron, that was a test. He like all that was a test in his mind. So over those years, he's a tactician, man. And then he also has a crazy army. His army is just as powerful, in my opinion, even with his lieutenants, as what Darkseid has. And what's her name? Big Mama or whatever the dude that's a man, that's a woman, that's a man. That thing.
We're talking about on the Black Order.
With the boom tubes. I forget what she calls herself.
Granny Goodness.
That's it. Whatever her name is. Granny. Yes, she goes by Granny. Yeah.
Granny
that
Goodness.
lady.
Yeah.
That thing. But I'm just saying. I mean, she's gonna take all Ebony Maw? I doubt it. So, like, I think that's gonna be even army to army. You compare army to army. I think you got a battle, man. You got a battle, and I think Thanos comes out on top.
I think that for army to army, I think Darkseid would win. I think one-on-one.
Let's hear why, sir. Let's hear why.
Well, actually, and you actually look back in the comics, from what I remember, it's been a long time since I read some of them, that he's actually been around a lot longer. He's older.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think it's like 1,000 years or something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. Quote me on this. I know we're going to hear from our factually people about this, about the whole comic book thing. And but basically you have like he has worlds he's ruled over just like Thanos, which is fine. But he's also got like Steppenwolf. He's got like some of the other guys, like just like Thanos has his children. Like I think like if Steppenwolf went against some of the other guys, I think he would whoop their ass. Like if it was like
some of those fourth world characters are pretty powerful.
Dude. Like I think if it's like Thanos and his guys versus Darkseid and his guys, I think that Darkseid and his guys would come out over top of them.
You may make a good point.
So
you might be right there.
And some of the stuff, it's been a while. I'm trying to remember some of it because it's been a while since I've read some of the older
You may be
Darkseid
right.
comics.
I mean, I haven't gone as deep into that. I only go by like some of the fiction that I've seen recently. I don't go back as far as a lot of guys on this stuff. It's just like I didn't with the Batmobile. Somebody did find an older Batmobile, so and I offered him his $5. He didn't take it, just for the record.
Oh, I forgot about that.
However, just from what I've seen, man, I don't see their army being as successful. I don't see them as being as technical. I think they are like magicians to an extent. They're more sorcerers and stuff like that. I think Thanos has his share of sorcery, but he has some tacticians and some military leaders who they are sneaky, man. And I don't know. This will be a battle.
I definitely think the Black Order would be more have more loyalty than what Steppenwolf would be towards like Darkseid and all that.
He wants to take him out as soon as he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, that's just my own personal opinion. I don't know how other people feel, but
that's a good point. No, that's a good point. I think that's a really good point. Is you're only as good as the loyalty that is to you. And if somebody's willing, like look at Starscream and Megatron. Every chance, like they could have gotten a lot farther if he would always been on board with Megatron and understood that you're not going to be a number one ever, but you can be a fantastic number two.
Oh my god!
Well, also
just
too,
have my
like,
back.
like what is it? Darkseid, he's way more ruthless, I think, than Thanos.
Really?
You think? I don't know about that.
Thanos killed his daughter, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that, dog. Thanos killed his own daughter.
I don't know. Like, that's just me from what I'm trying to remember from reading some of the stuff.
Hey, man, I'm gonna go get this stone real quick. I know I got to kill you to get it. Come on with me anyway.
The man didn't even think twice about it, dude. I mean, he did think twice about it, but he was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, the stone's more important. Yeah, we're gonna do this."
Was battling with it, but he still made the decision. Like it wasn't an easy decision, but it was yeah, I got to do it.
It was pretty easy. I think it was pretty easy. Yeah. When it came down to it, it seemed like it was a pretty easy solution for him.
Now, here's a one for you about this whole thing. What if you swapped roles as villains in the different universes?
Oof.
Oof.
With who would you think would come out on top if the ties were different? If Thanos was in the DC universe fighting DC characters versus that's a good one.
Thanos would own the DC universe.
Absolutely would.
Justice League, yes. Take him out.
Yeah. He would destroy the DC universe without a doubt, bro.
Absolutely would. And here's my other thing, because what we know Thanos recently, and I can't call this for like the golden age of comics if he was the same way, but recently it doesn't seem like Thanos wants to rule the world. He just wants to bring it into balance. And so with that being said, he's not looking to rule over the Justice League. So he'll take out as half of them as he needs, leave the other half around, and smack everybody silly. That'd be the end of it.
And you could be like, you could be, like Darkseid, whatever. He could end up being in the Marvel universe and say, fuck every single one of you. I don't care. Like,
you know what? You know who I think would give Darkseid, like Darkseid would actually have fun messing with, is he would have fun messing with Galactus, because Galactus doesn't necessarily want to be a ruler. He wants to eat because he has to constantly eat.
He's hungry.
But Darkseid ain't having that. You're not coming to my planet and taking that. Plus, I want everything that you've touched. I want it all. I want to rule it all.
That was a comic book years ago. I remember that. They did a crossover with him and wow, that was what, late 90s, I think that was?
Yep.
Something
I
like
have
that.
it. I think I have it downstairs.
Were you talking about a Marvel DC crossover? Or is that what you're talking about?
Do this on a regular basis,
Yeah.
It was
that
like a 4-book
happened.
crossover series. But then there was also another one where Superman picked up Thor's hammer and was able to wield it for 10 minutes.
Yes, I have that too. That was the JLA Avengers crossover.
Yeah, I got to get that. I still got to get that.
So you guys like the crossovers? Is that something that you guys really are into?
The one I
liked
read
it back in the day. Yeah, they were a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
They did like JLA X-Men. I remember that story.
Mm-hmm.
That was Teen Titans X-Men.
No, there was another story. There was a book called
96 was that crossover.
Remember the DC Marvel thing? There's something came out later. Another book. It was called All Access. It was a mini series that came after the DC.
It was like a 4-book run. It was like I got that. That's in the basement. But when you said JLA X-Men, I thought it was Teen Titans X-Men.
That happened too. That was years ago. Yeah, years and years ago. And that was I think Hulk and Superman did it back years ago too. Yeah, I mean,
they've always done it with individual characters too.
Yeah, it was fun when it was happening. I wish they'd do it again.
Speaking of that, I think somebody posted in the chat that DC and Marvel could have a potential merger, which I think might be off the table now, but it was some talks for a second.
Yeah, like there's been some talks because of what was it? There was because I think I was the one that posted that in the chat. I could be wrong.
You talking about the Variant Comics YouTube channel?
Yeah, like they were talking about like they had a bunch of sources and stuff like that, and then there was a bunch of comic books and stuff like here and there that showed way too many things of crossovers. Like
it was Doomsday Clock 12. They gave some hints about like from Thor and Hulk, and then again spoilers. I apologize. Tune out. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
The newest issue of Thor, I think, did some JLA stuff. They did some blurs and stuff.
Potential crossover stuff.
They were dropping hints, big hints.
Yeah, you saw like what was it? A blue and red streak, and then you saw a red streak, and then you saw like stuff like that.
We knew who it was. They didn't show who it was, obviously.
Yeah, and to be fair, right now it's just rumors. But it's I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be. I mean, and it's not like they would be in a monopoly right now because there's still Image Comics out there and a couple other IDW is out there still. So
as long as they keep making the DC characters and the Marvel characters, like I don't care who does it as long as they do it right.
How would you guys want it to be done? Would you want two separate universes? Would you want them to merge together? How would you want it done? Let's talk about that.
I've never been a fan of the Gateway Universe stuff. It's just, I mean, and this is gonna sound stupid, so just relax, guys. Relax.
Is there another $5?
Don't you tell me to relax. Don't you tell me to relax. If you get me excited, I'm gonna get excited. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, Wells, turn your mic down a little bit.
This is gonna sound
my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's gonna sound stupid. However, I don't like the multiverse thing at all. It's just not like, it's not for me. And I don't want to have the Marvel guys have to show up on this next universe just to see the DC. Like, no, just merge it all together. Give me some real cities now. I don't have to deal with Metropolis and Gotham. That's New York, upstate and downtown or whatever. Or,
we don't condone what Eric. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's your hate mail. And that's right. Send all hate mail to Jason. No, I'm joking.
No, send it to New York Mike. Everybody.
Right, he's not here, so we're gonna give it to him. Yeah. But that's just been my that's why I think I couldn't fully get into all of that about DC. Now, granted, there's some DC stuff that I love, don't get me wrong, but I preferred Marvel's, like I can identify with the place. Like if I go to New York, I can see this building. Hey, I saw that in my comic book, or stuff like that. So I would prefer it that way, if that answers your question.
What about you, Wells?
I think it gets confusing when you start crossing over universes and stuff like that. I think it gets a little confusing, and I think there's a lot more. Yeah, because I think there's a lot more things you have to start thinking about. Is like what different time frames are we talking about here? When you do crossovers like that, certain things get lost, and then you're like, well, where is this person coming from? I think I'm fine with the two separate things because I've learned growing up. I love Marvel. Like I've been reading more Marvel than I did DC. I know more about Marvel than I do DC. To be fair, I tried getting into DC a lot. A lot of the characters, besides the main ones that we all know, didn't really do a lot for me. I got more excitement out of Marvel, so I appreciate the fact that there were two separate things.
Yeah.
So if I had to make a choice, I'd want it to stay separate.
Yeah.
I think I'm with E. Wells on that one. I think I want to keep them separate.
Yeah, it gets confusing after a while, man, because now you're getting lost in everything, and it's a lot. And we all know there's a lot of characters in Marvel and DC. So
I'm imagining doing some kind of big event like they've been doing year after year, and it's just all those books tied into.
Yeah,
that'd just be insane.
That would be dope.
I mean, I would like to see a crossover. I'm sorry, go ahead, RB.
No, I'm agreeing with you, dude. I'm glad you brought that up. Is that like I would like to see a crossover once a year, And at that point, the universe is not necessarily the universes, because when I say universes, I'm talking about the multiverse. I absolutely don't like that stuff. But when you put the DC world with the Marvel world and just make it like one particular story, and you start filling in gaps and you give it one big trade at the end of the year, I think that has potential, man.
Yeah. I don't mind a crossover once a year. I want to do a little mashup, X-Men versus Thing type of scenario. I'm cool with that, man, so I think we enjoyed those crossover video games and stuff like that, with Street Fighter, X-Men. So we all enjoy a good crossover, no matter what it is.
Those games, man.
So I just don't want to see it all the time, but I don't mind to see it once a year.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think that's a good call, man. And speaking of those games, man, those are some of my favorite fighting games of all time. They were so over the top that they were so fun, and you got to see your favorite characters mix up. Marvel versus Capcom, X-Men versus Street Fighter. What was the other one? I think that was pretty much it. But then, you had SNK versus Street Fighter. That was fun too.
SNK, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Marvel versus Capcom.
You guys play any of those recently?
Yeah.
I never played those.
So let me ask you guys this: were you the type of person that strategically read through all the things to figure out how to do the button combinations, or did you button mash like a mother on those games?
No, heck no, dude.
I'm a button masher, definitely button masher.
So here's the thing: No, go ahead, Wills.
Nah, I'm just saying. At one point, that's what you did. You go do a little button mash, and then once you started to realize you were losing, I guess I need to figure this out.
I had Nintendo powers that had the thing that said "do this." I couldn't button mash. I had to know ahead of time.
I was the type of person I would play around with the combos in the middle of the fight. And once I figured out, I'm like, "Oh, dude, it's on!" But I'm not the type. Are you the guys also the type that kept doing that same damn punch move over and over again?
No, I hated never get to play my games.
I hated that shit,
dude. And I would make sure that I beat the crap out of you, so you never got on the sticks again, ever.
Yeah, I hated that shit, dude.
That guy is the guy who cannot come back to the hangouts. You are off of the stick forever, sir.
Yeah, indeed.
Back down the street. Go play with your toys. We're doing other stuff right now. You out of here.
I can see a young little Burgess right now getting all frustrated, going over, just pulling someone's cord out while playing. Like, no.
Here's the thing. So when I was younger, I never owned my own video game system, but I was regulating my cousin's stuff. Like, nope, he gotta go. He gotta go. He's not about to do this. Like, beat him. Just beat him. Okay, I'm gonna beat him, and then he gotta go.
I had a friend that came. Hang on here. Coming in. Wait a minute. What is this? New York Mike is here.
What's going on, guys?
What's good, brother?
It's Batman.
There you go. We should get Mike in on this too.
Get me in on this.
You are a gamer, dude. You are a gamer, hardcore gamer, much like myself, man. And we were just talking about fighting games. So when you first started playing fighting games, were you a button masher or were you a strategy guy kind of guy?
I was a controller thrower.
He was a button masher.
Step up on button mashing, yeah.
Mike was getting whooped over there. Oh, I hate this game.
That's me. That's me.
Yep.
A fighting game wasn't my genre. I mean, obviously, it's all about strategy. And
Mike was definitely that one button guy, that one move guy.
That one
Mike
punch, just.
I know. I could pull off the moves. I just wasn't as good as everyone else. I just sucked.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but once you figured that one move out, it was on.
I definitely was the strategy guy. What was it was a Pro Gamer magazine that used to come out. There was Game Pro. That's it. The Game Pro magazine that had the Street Fighter moves in the back of it because they didn't include them in a box. Like, what the heck was that? But yeah, man. I used to get the game, and I didn't own my own system when I was a kid. We did not have enough money for me to own a system as a kid. So I used to play my cousins when I would go over there. And then it's probably what made me a good student in school because I didn't have a lot of distractions. My mama wasn't playing that, but she couldn't afford it. But when I got 18, she bought me my first PlayStation. But my younger brother had a Nintendo 64 when he was like age 12. I think his dad bought it. And it was on from there. Killer Instinct 2. It was Killer Instinct Gold back in the day. Oh, we used to throw down in that game for hours, dude. Yep. Nintendo 64, man. We used to go like the combos. You had to learn the combos on that. You can button mash if you want to. You're gonna get popped.
Yeah, no, that was all about combos. That was a great game. I love that game. I love the first one too. I was good at that one in the arcade. That was the only one I was good at in the arcade.
One of my favorite games growing up was you guys remember Virtual Fighter?
Yeah,
I used to tear people up with that Drunken Fighter, dude. Like the Drunken Master, I would tear people up with that game.
That game was hard to get, man. You couldn't be a button masher on that either, at all. You had to know them combos, and that's all it was combos. There were no projectiles. It was 3D fighting, and that was like one of the first games to do it, right?
Yeah,
and then Tekken came along and blew that out the water.
It's still around. Like I still have Virtual Fighter, I think 5 that they redid or something.
Yeah, that's the latest one. I think you can get that on all the major systems now, man.
I still to this day. Oh, look at that! Killer Instinct.
You got there. Killer Instinct.
Ooh, I remember that.
Yeah, that's a black cartridge.
There it is. Gorgeous.
Nice. Gold.
Killer Instinct. Gold.
That's the one we had, man. And that thing was like $70
how did you have those
when it first dropped.
Out? Yeah. You just had those just sitting out just now?
Well, man, you saw the archive, man. I got the archive right next to me.
He's got his own game set up over there. Shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he got a mini arcade in his basement. Well, forget mini. He got an arcade in his basement.
Yeah, he does. All right. So, New York Mike, we touched on a question just a few minutes ago. Who would you think would win in a battle between Thanos and Darkseid?
Drum roll.
Yeah, think about this one.
Does Thanos have the Infinity Gauntlet?
No.
That was the first.
You could do one with and one without.
Yeah, we did both. We did both.
I mean, with he wins. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that.
That's not a competition. That's why that wasn't fun. So now we're going back to the other one.
Right.
But now you made it hard. I mean, I'm gonna.
Yeah, dude, right? That was a good question I popped up when I just randomly threw that up there.
That's the best comic book that hasn't been written yet. Somebody figure it out.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lowry's nephew, man, because he was the one that we're talking to you about that, right, Lowry? Like
yeah. You remember my
having
nephew?
a conversation about Call of Duty?
Yeah. We were talking about games and stuff, and he mentioned that. And I mean, Mike, you remember from TFCon, my little nephew. Yeah. He asked me the other day. He's like, who would you think would win it in a fight? And he goes, Darkseid. He's like, without the Infinity Gauntlet, he's like, Darkseid would whoop his ass.
I tend to agree with your nephew, man. I think I'm going to lean Darkseid.
All right, you got to give us some reason. You got to support this now because we all did, and we'll go back and just to fill you in real quick on what we said. So, what was your support for that?
He gave Superman a fight. I think Superman fucks up almost anybody in the MCU. Almost anybody.
What?
Almost anybody. Hold on, we're not talking about Celestials and all that, and that's different.
So he's just gonna beat up Thor and the Incredible Hulk. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about this later.
We're talking about Thor and the Incredible. Yeah, I think so. I think he'd take Hulk. I really do. I mean, Tony took him in a robot. Tony took him in a robot.
He was under a spell. That doesn't count.
Oh.
That's MCU.
Strength is strength, bro. It doesn't matter who's under a spell.
No, I'm just messing with Mike. I gotta get him riled up.
Get me riled up, man. And listen, Lowry, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to send me the link to this show immediately so I can start my rebuttal for the hour and a half worth of shit you guys were talking when I wasn't here. All right?
There was a lot of shit talking. A lot of shit talking. My man Wolf has enough toilet paper to cover us all.
Oh, bro.
I'm just gonna use the escalator handrail like that GIF that.
Oh my god,
man! That was hilarious.
Oh my god!
Shout out to Josh Fisher. That was.
Funny thing is, I can see Josh doing that too. He probably made his own up. He's got like just a bunch of like, what is it? The Swiffer things set up on like in a conveyor belt and just sitting on just.
So nasty.
Oh shit.
So you feel like just because he gave Superman a run for his money that's the reason why. I mean that's your reason. I ain't knocking it. I'm just trying to get clarity.
As a kid, as much of a fan as I am of Batman, I think Batman is, I take Batman over Superman any day of the week.
Me too.
When I was younger, when I was a kid, and this is in my own head canon, like when I was raised, when I grew up, Superman was Superman. nobody fucks with Superman. Superman is the end all be all. When he shows up, shit's gonna go down.
Yeah.
So in my mind, like, you know, I'm trying to think of like who's comparable. Like Captain Marvel, I think he crushes Captain Marvel. You know, who else has power like that in the MCU?
Thanos.
You know, yeah. I mean, that's right. Yeah. I got to give it to Superman, but I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
So I'd
love to see it.
So this is my consensus on this. I think Thanos, being a military tactician, an excellent fighter, somebody who broke the Hulk down, which, I mean, we hadn't seen that in a while in a movie. But even in the comics, like, he gave the whole MCU a run for the money. I don't think Superman would stand a chance against the entire MCU. I just don't.
At once?
But Thanos did. And Thanos has powers, like he has like brute strength, but he has like he's one of the most intelligent minds we've seen in the MCU. And I think that, coupled with that, if he gets close on Darkseid, it's a wrap. And I think he's going to plan it out. I mean, look what he did to the Avengers for 10 years in those movies. So I just think he takes them out after a while. It's going to take a minute, because Darkseid is nothing to mess with either. But it's going to take a minute, but I think Thanos would get the nod.
I mean, can't Darkseid just kind of teleport him to like the corona of the sun with his eyes? Like, isn't that one of the things he does?
Yeah,
I think he can. Yeah,
he can. Yeah.
I mean, it's. Hey, listen, man. I respect your opinion, and I'm going to come back at you. You get me riled up. I mean, if you ask for it, you won't get it.
Get it, Mike.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, that's kind of, to me, that's almost the ultimate power. You know, you just teleport him to the center of the sun. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Oh, you got a glove? Okay. Yeah, I can snap back too. Like,
I think got his fingers ready to go. It's pink. No. You know.
So, but he couldn't beat Superman.
What's that?
He didn't beat Superman. He was whooping him for a long time.
The question wasn't whether Superman would beat Thanos or not. The question was whether Darkseid would beat Thanos or not.
Right, but I feel like Thanos can beat Superman.
Like Thanos could beat Superman.
With or without the glove?
Don't matter.
I mean, is Kryptonite involved or no? Are we talking Kryptonite?
See, I think he's smart enough to get Kryptonite. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
so
then,
like,
yeah,
but even with that, even if you take the Kryptonite out, because that then makes Batman the ultimate badass, right? Even if you take that out, if they go back and forth, it's gonna take a lot for Superman to get Thanos tired. That dude is relentless, dude.
Well, Superman, depending on his strength too, but like, I think that basically between the two of them.
And Superman needs the red sun. I mean, not the red sun. He needs the sun to have all that power. He goes to a different planet, different universe. It's a wrap.
True.
That's a good point.
That's true.
But if that factor, if the sun was involved, everything else, like, I think that basically Superman would basically take the glove off of him and basically give him a cavity search with the Infinity going.
He don't even need the glove, because I still don't think Superman can beat the Hulk. My opinion.
That's going to be all.
Do you want the rest of the universe to feel these stones? You're going to get it too. Like,
can you feel me? Can you feel me yet? Is it in?
I can just see Superman right now. There. Oh, you want to snap? Okay. Like.
So let me ask you this: what happened in the DC versus Marvel crossover? Superman lost to the Hulk.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Didn't they merge right together? No, not in the Superman, in the Avengers one, they were fighting together. But I could have swore the Hulk came out on top of that, because he ended up getting long hair when they merged the universes at the end.
No.
Somebody check me out on that.
I'm positive.
I'm pretty sure he lost.
Positive. He did.
I didn't see it, but since Wolf is leaning towards what I'm arguing for, I'm going to say he's absolutely right.
You know what? I'll be back.
Oh, he's fact checking himself.
Great.
He's gonna hit up Josh Fisher. He's gonna hit up Josh Fisher real quick. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, right.
Probably
somebody call Josh now before he gets there. Now, I agree with Wolf, man. I'm pretty sure Wolf probably knows that.
I'll joke around and give Josh the link real quick and bring him in, not saying anything. Oh, Jesus. So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, without the glove involved, who do you think? What do you think between the two of Thanos and like even like the Black Order and everything else all involved. Like, who do you think would win as a whole? Armies, everything.
Are we talking? We're talking like MCU versus DC?
No, like Darkseid versus
about like
Darkseid versus Thanos is armies, like everything. Who would you think would win between the two? That was the other part of the question.
I think Thanos has got that.
You think Thanos has what?
I think Thanos has got the army down.
I think so too. I said the same thing.
Yeah,
I think he has more loyal subjects. He has an army that is very tactical and ruthless, just like he is.
Well, okay. Let's also bring something. Let's explore every point of this. So if we're talking Thanos, we're talking Thanos in the MCU, or are we talking Thanos in comics and all that?
That's a good point. Because they're slightly different.
I was very, very unimpressed with the army in the MCU, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're coming like for the end all be all battle at the end, and then all it takes is Captain Marvel, who was just absent for 21 and a half movies. She just shows up and flies through your ship, and it's game over. Like we could have made this movie one and saved us like 10 years.
But his army was a little different in Infinity War than they were in Endgame. And you got to remember that army was an early army and Endgame than it was Infinity War. That
That's
army had
true.
Matured by
But
Infinity War.
How early are we talking? I think you're right. I just don't remember the time difference.
Oh, it's a big one because remember they went back in time to like when it all first started, like the Battle of New York and all that. That army hadn't matured as much. This is 10, 15 years later. And that's why they were so ruthless in the end of that.
Does anybody know how long Thanos has been around for? Is he like how long did Titans live for?
He's pretty old too.
Okay, so that's kind of what I thought.
He's not as old as Darkseid, like Jason was mentioning, but he's pretty old.
Thanos, I think it says the end game, like based off the movies, not the comics. Like they were saying something right around 1,000 years old in the MCU.
So I'm gonna say I'm gonna have trouble buying the strength of the army within a 10-year period if this guy's been around for 10 centuries. I'm gonna say that army was probably similar. I don't you know what I'm saying? Like was he making a charge over the last couple of years to make this happen, or was this more of like a 200-year plan that he was trying to bring together?
All we know is from the start of the Avengers 1, the first Avengers movie, is where we know Thanos was coming in at.
No, I meant like comic stuff because I'm not really well versed in that stuff.
Gotcha.
I think in the comics, I think he was like right around. I mean, he was born from the Eternals or something like that, from what I remember. And he was I think that was like 1,500 to 2,000 years old or something like that.
Jesus Christ!
We're making a great argument for our first guest spot to be Marilyn Phil to straighten us out on this whole conversation.
I like that.
Yeah, no shit.
Somebody give him a call.
So Thor was 1,500 years old in the movies. By Infinity War, he was 1,500 years old. So I'd imagine Thanos was a little older than that. But that's just me. Because the Allfather was thousands, like tens of thousands years old, right? I don't know. We get into something else now.
Yeah, I'm kind of bad at this stuff.
And to fact check myself over here, that final punch did Hulk in, and he took him out. Superman won that.
All right, good job.
Wolf, I never doubted you for a second, Wolf.
Same here. My man seemed real confident, so I was going to go with him.
He did.
He's like, I got you. I got the book right here in front of me. He's like, I just let you do that.
It's in the third book, the third issue of that 4-issue series, which starts off like this for anybody who's looking for it. This is the first episode. I have all 4 of them in here, and this is like the last one here, and the other ones are in there. I got all 4 of these for $10.
And which what number issues are those?
It's 1 through 4. All right. So what you see here is 1, and then this is episode 4, and I don't feel like taking other ones out again. So.
Yeah.
So good stuff, man. Good stuff. So Mike, you ready to give us an update on your basement? How's your basement coming?
It's going well. Everything's going pretty good. It's going slow. I know I promised. I said I'd have something for you this week, so I'm going to have something. I don't have much because it's been a hectic week, especially with Corona and everything. Kid being off from school, rearranging schedules. It's been rough. But I did want to talk a little bit about. I'm kind of at a crossroads with a couple of things, and I kind of wanted to get everyone's take on it because I think that we've all been here before at some point. If I'm mistaken, then let me know. I think that we pretty much all have had space issues at some point.
Yes.
We're pretty serious collectors, and when you have space issues, it's just space is finite. You have to decide what gets the real estate and what doesn't get the real estate. Sometimes you got things that you really like that you've had for a long time, and it's decision time. And what do you do? And how do you get rid of things? How do you know when it's time to get rid of something? How do you know when? Is it a value thing? Is it a personal value thing, not in a monetary sense? What kind of things? What kind of situations have you guys been in to kind of relate? What have you guys done? What have you guys had to get rid of? Can you guys think of any situations that you've been in?
Ooh.
I mean, I can start off with one, give you guys time to think, so I just put you on the spot, kind of like you just did, by the way.
Got to get you in here, man. The people need to hear from you. We missed you.
That's right. I'm not
bad. We missed you, man. No, I got something. I do have something. So recently I started purging. Well, I've had one big collection purge at one time, and it was for monetary reasons. We were going through some things. I had just been laid off from a job, and I needed to make sure some stuff got paid. And I trimmed down my Transformers collection tremendously. So I scaled that stuff back, and then when I got it all back, I just strictly went MP as opposed to doing Chug stuff and third-party Chug stuff, which I didn't know was a difference at first. But then I came back and just went MP. But I just got rid of all my Storm collectibles figures, with the exception of Scorpion, because that's really one of my favorite characters. But they just weren't for me. I got the SH Figure Arts Street Fighters, and I'm going to stick with that. I had the Storm Street Fighters. And I had got rid of a lot of G.I. Joes. I got rid of a lot of the new, 25th and then the 50th anniversary G.I. Joes. Yeah. So I trimmed that stuff down, got rid of it. And part of it had to do with the fact that, like you said, not if you have the space per se to house it, but not necessarily the space to display it. Yeah. And I think I would have probably kept a lot of that stuff if I could display it a little better. So I got rid of it and started doing my figure art stuff, which I'm in on the MCU line and stuff there, and my Transformer Masterpiece, and I'm actually a lot happier with my collection now.
So that said, I mean, based on what you said, I'm going to infer that you do have some regrets from the things that you did have to cut away. If in a perfect world, had you had the space, would you have still gotten rid of the stuff to evolve your collection, to maybe make it flow a little bit better, or or if you had the option, would you have everything?
Maybe not my G.I. Joe stuff. I probably would have kept that. I was a huge G.I. Joe fan as a kid. I loved the 3 3/4 inch line. I had a few of the vintage characters. So like, I'm a huge Snake Eyes fan. Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, like those are my favorites of the Joes. But I thoroughly enjoyed Joe, period. And I ended up getting rid of a lot of that stuff. The handful of vintage stuff that I had, but a lot of the 3 3/4 inch from the 25th, which had a lot more articulation, and also the 50th anniversary. So I probably would have kept that stuff, but I think it was a good move to get rid of, even though I sold it out of necessity, my third-party Chug stuff, and then also my my Chug stuff, period. It just does not fit my collection. I'm a masterpiece collector, so what I like, that's what I get the most joy out of. So it worked out good in that. And hindsight is always 20/20. Looking back on it now, I'm thankful that the situation happened, because it allowed me to show me that I needed to take care of my family in some ways and step up to the plate and be a man and man up on that. But then also it allowed me to grow into different other areas with my collection. So yeah, hope that answered your question.
It does. Larry, you're an asshole. It's actually funny that you said that last part, Eric. We're going to come back to that actually real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because that's kind of what I'm having my problem with. Wolf, how about you? What kind of situation you've been in like this?
Probably when I first got back into this back in 2014, I just moved back home after getting out of a relationship. I got into this. I was collecting Masterpiece. I was collecting all the Chug stuff, all the Legends. Just I filled up a very small space in a very quick period of time. Like my dresser was covered. And I had a bookshelf. Things were on the floor, and it was just
damn.
So this was after you moved on.
This was after I got back home. Yeah, like I just started back into this. Yeah. So and then I sat there. I'm like, man, I got too much stuff. I got too much stuff too quickly. And I thought about it, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm just, I thought about what was important to me, what made me the happiest, and that was the Masterpiece. So I boxed up all the Chug stuff. I gave it away to some friends' kids. They have it. They're enjoyed it more than I ever did. So, and I had the Masterpiece that's just on the shelf, looking good. I just made that decision.
Now, when you're saying Chug stuff, are you saying more mainline stuff? Or are you saying more third-party Chug that you gave away?
No, it was all mainline. It was like the newer stuff. It was stuff from years past. It was a lot of stuff.
Okay, so that's stuff that would have pretty much been acquired at a $10 to say $50 price point at some point, depending on where you got it.
Yeah, retail price.
All right, so I could see giving something like that. That makes a lot of sense. You give it to a kid, you let him enjoy it. That's it's good. It gets you into heaven, Wolf. I like that. How about you, Lowry?
So,
go ahead, Wolf. All right, Wells.
I'm sorry, Ian.
No, I was just gonna ask New York Mike, like you said, Chug for you is considered between a $10 to $50 price. That's what you consider a Chug, somewhere between $10 to $50. In
a mainline, right? Isn't that pretty much what the mainline ones go for?
Well, also I wanted to get just
the bigger stuff was like 50. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it's right around there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get some clarification on that.
Well, third party stuff, is going to be at a much higher price point. Like if you specifically what I'm getting to, and I'm going to start talking as soon as you guys get all your spiels out. But specifically, what I'm getting to is more of a higher price point third party thing. So
yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah. So what's either one of you go next? Then I don't want to tell you what to do. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Wells. I'll go after you.
Me, I've sold absolutely nothing. My basement is ridiculous with stuff. I have boxes and corners. I have boxes and places they don't need to be. I have so much.
You see one right behind you, guy.
Yeah, I got. Like
he doesn't have a squatty potty. Man, he's got one of his boxes that sit underneath it, like
squatty potty. But thing is, squatty potty. I feel like we all have so much stuff that we got just sitting around. I got things I don't even remember I have, bro. Like just the other day, I'm just going through some things. I'm like, why do I have two of these? You never see something. You're like, why do I have two of these?
You guys are in a different spot, man. You guys are in a good
That's like some shit you go to your That's like some shit you go to your grandparents' house and you start finding you clean out their house and you find like 3-4 different things of the same stuff.
Yeah, man. I haven't sold anything honestly at this point. I got Marvel Legends all over the place. I got Transformers. I got third-party stuff, fans toys. I have everything. I haven't sold a single thing yet, man. And
is there a plan he wants? Is there a plan for that?
Is there a plan for it?
Yeah, are you going to display it eventually, or you don't know what's going on?
Eventually, yeah. Me and my wife are looking to get a house, hopefully this year. So once we get the crib up and running, I put the man cave together like New York Mike.
Oh, yeah.
That's the game plan right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Good stuff.
Nice, dude.
Build on that too, Wells. Real quick question. So I know you're a Legends collector like myself, and you say that you haven't sold anything. Are you the kind of guy that will try to find, the diamond in the rough in the line, like where like there'll be a wave of 8, and you'll say, well, I'm going to get 2 of this one and this one because I feel like these are going to be worth more money in the end, or do you just get the one and then you're done?
No, I'm that. I'll probably get that one I'll get 2 of the one that I feel like is going to be the one that's going to sell later on. Yeah. I have done that, yes.
So we got to talk because we probably got a lot of stuff like that, and I think we could bounce off each other and try to figure out how to move some of the stuff.
I agree with you on that, but I will also say that Lowry, I know, has a lot of Marvel Legends in his basement too, so he's definitely one to talk to as well.
Actually, there was a big chunk of stuff I got rid of.
Yeah, dude, I got out of Marvel Legends myself. I got rid of all that in lieu of getting the Mafex figures that are coming and the SH Figure Arts MCU stuff. I got out of Legends quick.
Yeah, that's an expensive rabbit hole, though, man.
Yeah,
it is.
And I'm watching all you fall down it, so I'm staying out of it.
Well, you know what I recently what I decided I'm going to do, because my wallet started talking to me. My wallet was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I was like, I decided that, and I was talking to EE Prime as well. So what he does is he only deals with the X-Men Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they're, and that saves you some money, because now you're not jumping into the Spider-Man stuff. You're not jumping into, this and that. Fantastic Four and so forth. If you only stick with X-Men Legends, then you might be okay. You might not spend a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Nope, I was doing that too.
Dude, I was a Marvel Legends whore, to be honest. I was buying like every wave, like a box of the wave. Like, then I looked at one day and I had boxes in my basement. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I just got too much shit.
I did the X-Men Marvel Legends, and that's all I was doing. And I ended up with 2 waves in like 2 months, and I'm like, wait, the articulation on this stuff isn't as good as some of the other stuff that I'm seeing out there. Although I do like the X-Men, I'm a huge fan of just the 90s stuff. Like, I love all the X-Men stuff, but I prefer the Jim Lee designs, and we're not getting that fast enough. So why am I holding on to this stuff? It's got to go. I'd rather get something that I know I'm going to love the articulation with. I know that I can take better pictures of, something that I can play with from time to time. It's not going to be tough to articulate or anything. So let me just get rid of this. Like, it became a easy decision that started off a hard decision, because I do love the X-Men.
Well, not only that, you got a price point problem there too. I mean, you're talking about getting a wave of Marvel Legends figures, in which some cases one figure in a line that you collect will be as much as an entire wave.
Yeah,
correct. Yeah, that could challenge too. What were you going to say, Ian? I think I cut you off there, but I'm sorry.
Nah, you didn't cut me off, bro. It's all good.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I was gonna pretty much say exactly what you just said. And it's true too. Like you pay that price point for one figure, as opposed to you can get 5 figures, and say you want to put like a display together, where you want to get maybe your X Factor team, you want to get the X Force together, the X-Men blue team, gold team, whatever it is you're trying to do. You can get a nice amount of figures for that one price point for once away, and get the 5 or 6, and you can put a nice display together. So that's what works for me. And those, and I disagree with you on the pictures, man. I feel like I get a lot of great photos with my Marvel Legends. Like, I put a lot of good sets together, and they look great.
No, you can, and they've gotten better over the years, but you got to admit that there's better articulation with the Mafex and the SH Figure Art stuff, which now gives you a higher level of a dynamic pose. Not that the poses are bad, because I think The Amazing does great work with his Marvel Legends, and I've seen a lot of people in those photography groups do some great stuff with the Marvel Legends. It's just that I'm always seeking to have the highest level of what I can have, and that just wasn't it for me. I've seen people do it. But for me, it just wasn't it. And especially since I don't have dioramas and stuff like that to go off of, most of my backgrounds are very static. So I just go with like a different color background, and I need it to pop. And the figure is the central piece for me. So I need it to really pop, and I can only get that from these.
Well, the thing now too is the tides have turned on a lot of those figures. Like take for instance the Power Rangers Lightning collection. Like, dude, some of those are way more articulated than some of the figure arts ones.
Yep, they have done a lot better, but those are newer. That line came out with it looks like to hit all the articulation points out the gate. The only thing it's missing is just a toe tilt. That's it, and those things are sick. And T-Man, shout out to T-Man. I mean, he put some stuff out there that shocked the heck out of me, because I didn't think those were that good. Just looking at it in a box, But then he took them out and were posing them and took some pictures. I'm like, wow, these things are wicked.
Yeah, I heard that Yellow Ranger is starting to hit now too.
Is it?
Yeah,
because I have it pre-ordered. Like, I'm getting the problem is like I wanted the Figure Arts Power Rangers, but there's no way I'm spending like $200 a piece on those damn things. They're not worth it. I'd rather turn around and they're like 200. They're right.
What?
Secondary market on a lot of those.
Secondary market on a lot of those.
It's already out then.
I need to sell mine.
Yeah, you just bought some of yours recently, I remember.
Yeah, I was nowhere near there, man. Is that really what they're going for?
Yeah, they're going. I mean, unless people want to get
for sure.
The reason why is because they stopped in the middle of. Unless you got the earlier ones, they stopped in the middle because they lost a license and they were doing all the ones with all the heads and everything like that.
Yeah,
and they stopped in the middle of it because they lost a license, couldn't continue them, and then I was trying to search to try to get the ones without the custom actual just the regular face ones.
Really?
And then dude, they were going up in price. It was like the Fans Toys Insecticons, like crazy ass prices for them things.
$900 for a set. Y'all crazy.
No. And so I turned around and I was like, you know what? Screw this. So I got the Hasbro ones. And dude, I've been happy with those. I mean, I'll take those and pose those up with some of the SOC stuff I have. So,
no kidding. We're gonna have to talk after the show. By the way, I want to get a little more information on that. But I guess we'll segue right into you. We kind of got a little glimpse of probably what you're going to say. I'd imagine you're going to say your Marvel Legends collection, Jay. But if you got something else, I mean, hit us with it.
Dude, I collect so many lines that isn't funny.
I thought you might.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we just lost. That was weird.
All right, I thought that was just me.
No, that was strange. That was the first time I've ever seen that. We lost Wolf and
weird.
New York Mike at the same time.
Yeah, you both dropped out and came back.
I'm sorry. Lowry just wanted me next to him. That's all.
Yeah. I was trying to get the Oreo going on, but it didn't happen.
That's about time I get the black guys on top, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no!
Hey, let me pound my meat from the top, baby.
Oh no! Yeah, so like I collect a bunch of different lines, and God, you guys are horrible.
Come on.
Mike's speechless right now.
That was good. All right. Move on.
Mike had to be right back real quick.
Oh, you offended him.
No, not Mike.
You good.
He said something about beating meat and he ran real quick.
He always runs when that topic comes up.
But so I collect, as you guys know, I collect a lot of different lines. I mean, you guys seen some of my hauls. I mean, not as of late, but like some of my hauls have been like crazy, and I started slowing down a little bit. Like I started transitioning over. Like I think a lot of us, like when we started out as one thing, like the chugs. Like you guys were talking about. You started out at chugs, and you get into masterpiece, and you're just like, I'd rather have more room for masterpiece. You know what I mean? So then you end up selling your stuff off. Like I gave some of it to my nephew, my coworker's grandson. Like he loves Transformers. So I ended up, donating and then also selling to him a bunch of those that I had, like a bunch of chugs. And so I got out of all of that. And then, I collect 24 scale die cast cars. I collect legends. I collect third-party masterpiece. Obviously some official masterpiece. I collect.
When he says legends, he's talking Transformers legends, folks.
Yeah, we're talking the third-party ones, not the official ones. What else do I collect? The SOC Bandai stuff. I collect. I collect all the Mezco, like figure arts, like depending on what they are. Like for me, I do MCU stuff with figure arts only. For the most part. There's been a couple of them I got from Mezco, but like I collect Mezco now. Like I transitioned as a stepping stone for the Marvel Legends. I transferred from those, and I was just buying way too many of them. I bought like waves and waves, and then I was getting hit with like 5 waves like within like a 2-month period, and I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that again. Like, yeah, and I was just like, and all the all just because I wanted either the build a figure or only 1 or 2 or 3 characters out of the entire box. And so I'm just like, all right, I'm not going to keep doing that. So I ended up being very selective. Like only got the Fantastic Four, and then Doom. Like, that's it. And then there's certain other ones like that. And then, like I said, I collect Mezco now. Like, I'm a 12 scale collector. I'm not going to get into like the 6 scale stuff.
The hot toy stuff.
Yeah. Everybody, I mess with my stuff way too much to try to turn around and get into hot toys. Like, I'm fidgety as hell with everything. So
that diecast stuff holds up pretty well.
I mean, dude, I've got between Comic Cave and Figure Arts, I've got every figure that they put out for like MCU
Iron Man.
Yeah, like their Iron Man stuff, that the diorama stuff that I created. So, I mean, as I progress throughout my collection, yes, I collect a bunch of different things, but there's certain companies I get with certain figures, like MCU versus comic.
You got some Mayfex stuff too, right?
Yeah, I got Mayfex also. Yeah. There's some movie stuff.
If you want to go to a toy museum, go to Lowry's house.
Yeah, I contend with quite a bit of people, right? We've been doing work on the house, and so like a lot of it's boxed up right now. So like I'll actually take stuff out, and I'll have like a couple of details up here that I throw stuff in when people come over or something. But I literally probably got about 3 closets filled full of stuff right now.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 closets plus the 1 closet in the 1 bedroom we have, because we got 2 closets, and the 1 closet that we have is filled full of stuff because I'm allergic to cats, and we still have the cat here, and I can't have some of my stuff out around the cats. Like if they get near it, I touch it, my hands start to welt up and everything, so I can't touch it. So So once the cats all kind of die off and stuff, that's the end of the cats. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
Well, no.
This is a game we're playing. We're waiting for the cat to die. Okay.
No, just a bunch of them
are video game.
Yeah. A bunch of them are older, stuff like that, and just so you know, I mean, she has a couple of them here, so it's like, and I'm allergic to them anyway as it is. Oh, we got New York Mike back.
Yeah, there he is.
Sorry.
You didn't have to show us your hands. It's fine.
He's like, I'm corona free.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
I think he was going for a masturbation joke, but I don't think it hit.
You weren't there when it showed up.
Got him.
Wednesday obligations on another day. I got you.
Sunday night obligations to himself.
No, that was just some work related stuff.
Taking care of business,
coronavirus, whatnot. So
yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
everything good. Everything good though.
No, not at all. But it is what it is. So we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know where you guys went because I just disappeared for you.
No, we're ready. We're ready for you, man. What you got?
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. My big problem that is actually what your problem was, Eric. It was I've got these third-party chug combiners that I love and I think are great, and I spent a tremendous amount of money on, which you can't think about because you're never going to win it. You're never going to get it back. But I have this collection of 9 combiners complete, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit what I want to do with it. It doesn't fit in scale. Is it a different style? Yeah, it's an IDW look over, say, an MP Toon look, which is what most of my MP Transformers are going for. But I can't combine them. They don't look right. When you got Skyfire standing as tall as Predaking, it just doesn't work.
Correct.
But when you break them down, they look really good in bot mode. They look really good in alt mode, some of them, and they could take up a Billy. But again, do you put them in the Billy? Do you get rid of that? Do you put something else in the Billy that's going to make the collection flow a little bit better? That's going to be a little bit, more of a less is more approach, which one of our friends keeps on driving that point home, and his stuff looks good. I got to say, shout out to Bobby.
Yeah, man.
But I'm kind of torn. I don't know what to do. So I kind of got some decisions to make. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a camera, but I guess you guys, it's not really important. I'm babbling. Don't mind me. Sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, if you can fire it up, I'm sure Lowry can get you in here if you want to.
It's not that important. I'm not showing you guys anything you haven't already seen, but it's when you look at it and you break it down, it's like 50-something Transformers when everything's said and done. Like, or 40-something, or like high 40s. I mean, you got 9 combiners at 5 each. Some of them are 6. Do the math.
45, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's tough. It's the hardest thing in the world.
Smart kids. Look at you, smart kids. Quick on the math. No, I hear you, Mike. It sounds like you got some decisions, and it's a couple dilemmas that you're dealing with as well, man. And I will say this: them third-party combiners, no, you may not be able to get all of your money back on them. But I mean, they still fetch a pretty decent price range. I mean, you might be able to translate some of them dollars into new masterpiece figures. So, a lot of people take some trades and this, that, and other.
So which one are you talking about getting rid of?
Well, that's a great point that Eric brought up. The ones that I'm looking to get rid of is pretty much all my third-party chugs. So that's going to be my Generation Toy Devi, my TFC aerial box. What's that? I also have a TFC Devi still that I can get rid of.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about that.
I've got the Transform Mission Stunticons. I've got the Warbitron Bruticus, the MMC Predaking, the Unique Toys Abominus, the Computron from Warbitron, and the TFC Defensor and the TFC Seacons. And some of those sets are worth $300 a piece, while other sets are worth $100 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So, if I were to get rid of everything and I were to get top dollar based on what it's going on right now, from what I looked up the other day, I'm looking at $1,500 on eBay if I get top dollar for everything that I have. And Eric, your point is very valid. What would I rather have there? $1,500. That Sentinel statue jumps right in the front of my mind.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, how do you let it go?
And here's another thought process. What I've seen done at shows is that you find a guy who's already selling a boatload of Transformers but doesn't have what you have, and let him make you an offer on those figures. You don't take them to the show, but tell him you want to get with them during the week. You talk to him, and chances are you can make a deal. Now, you might not get $1,500 for them, but if you can get 1,000 and you get 900, that's still a win.
Yeah, and to get rid of it all in one shot, it's worth it. Absolutely. Yep. When I say that top dollar, I mean individually selling every set, eBay,
long
and you still got what's eBay taking? 10%?
Don't mess
something
with
like
eBay,
that, man. eBay's the worst.
Talk to Gordon at NJCC. You want to do that?
Me and Gord have already had a couple conversations.
I was going to say,
yeah. We were thinking about splitting a table in August, so we'll see if that happens.
Oh yeah, that's a thought too, man. That's definitely a thought too. If you got that many chug pieces, NJCC might be the spot for you, dude.
It's definitely the spot.
Yeah,
that's definitely.
I mean, Gord, he ended up selling, what was it? Pretty much his entire collection in one shot.
Transformers,
it was crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It was wild.
He filled his table, filled the front table, filled the back table, full. Move shit, put more shit on the
stuff
table,
in boxes on the floors. I remember that.
Man,
it was wild.
That dude, I've never seen he purged all his shit in within a year, within 3 NJCCs. I mean, the numbers that he did, I'm not gonna put his business out there, but he did real good.
Good for him.
He moved some units. Definitely moved some units, man. Well, I mean, speaking of collections, Lowry brought up a interesting topic earlier this week. A lot of you guys are, say, late 30s, early 40s ish, and have been collecting for a lot longer than some of us on the show, me included. I haven't been collecting as long as a lot of people. But how did a lot of you guys get started? Let's start with Wales. Wales, man, how'd you get started?
It just took one toy, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I've been in collecting for a long time. I'm 30. I'll be 39 this year.
Nice.
I've probably been collecting in my late 20s. I want to say is when I really started collecting. But then I really started collecting, and then I stopped. I stopped. I sold everything that I had, and I was like, I'm done. I'm out of here. And then I met Dave and John Attic at the job, and one day we just started talking randomly about stuff, and he was like, "Wait, hold on." He's like, "You collect toys?" And I was like, "Well, I used to stop for a while, whatever." And he's like, "Bro, I collect toys too." And then we just started talking about everything, like DBZ, Transformers, everything that started coming into play. So I blame him for getting me back into it again.
I was waiting for it.
I totally blame him for this.
Yeah,
I'm totally blame him for all of this. And then he's like, "Bro, you got to come hang out at NJCC, blah, blah, blah." And that's when, we went to some toy fair. I met Dust and that was it, man. It was over. All the Marvel Legends started coming out. I started again collecting those, and then I got back into Transformers, and so that's how it started for me. And here we are, about $50,000 in debt.
I think that's the average for each collection or something like that. So.
That's average.
Well, I wouldn't say 50,000 in debt. Like you probably got 50,000 in your collection.
Yeah, that makes like an
50,000
invested.
I was
I was
over exaggerating. In debt.
Yeah, no. I was over exaggerating, guys. But that's how I got back into it, man. And then, I've been had comics, and I had those Marvel comic cards and everything all already had when I was younger. I actually got to get those shelved away. I got those in like cardboard boxes somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how I got started, man. Say it again.
You got any duplicates?
Yeah.
Mike's trying to hustle.
Cards? Yes, I'm 100% sure, and they're in great condition.
We should
I just have to get those filed away.
Look at these guys, always making deals with the show.
Holograms. I got the hologram cards. I got them all, man.
Yep.
I'll let your boy. I see.
But that's how I got into it. Yeah, man. So, Wolf, what's up, man? How'd you get into this?
I think I've always been into something. Like back when I was a teenager, I started with comic books. DC guy for on and off for many years. Moved on to like things like that period ended, and then I went to like a CD period. I was collecting a bunch of music. Got into sports jerseys for a while.
Nice.
It's always something. It's just
that's a money pit.
Sports starter jackets.
Yeah, if you're into the authentic shit, you don't get the
oh my god, especially football. Whew.
Yeah,
things are expensive. Football and hockey jerseys are super expensive.
Yeah,
basketball, not so much.
No, but I was into all that stuff, man. Trust me, I was emptied my wallet quite a few times when I shouldn't have. But, yeah, that, and then back in 2014, I got into the back in the action figure game. So see how long this phase lasts.
Well, you also marry someone who dibbles and dabbles in collecting too, so it kind of makes it a little easier to stay interested into that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, being able to take someone with you to like the vintage toy shop and not have them stand there looking at their watch when the time you're leaving.
Yeah.
You bring them to the NJCCs or the TFcons. It's nice. It's different. I'm definitely a lucky guy in that.
Yeah, man. Yep. Absolutely.
Nice. Cool.
Absolutely. Well, Lowry, what about you, man? You're a heavy hitter over there with a lot of different lines. And you've been doing it for quite some time, man.
Well, actually,
what made you get into it?
People think I've been doing a lot longer than you think I have. So I got, just like you guys, younger, you got figures and stuff like that, comic books, whatever, same story. But I lost everything younger in a fire.
Oh, no.
So when we were younger, I was still like 11, 12, something like that, 10, 11, 12. So I lost everything from that point earlier on. And then I didn't collect until 2013.
Wow.
I didn't start collecting again until 2013. And that's when I started collecting. And that's when I started heavy hitting at that time. Because I got into it, went through a divorce with my ex-wife, I think it kind of actually collecting kind of helped me through a lot of stuff, going through the divorce, losing the house, like losing everything and all that. And I was down to nothing. And basically I met Bethany, and then it went from there, and kind of find out she collected too, just like, Eric and his wife. And so we turned around and we just started, we started realizing we started collecting together. We'll do the same thing as them. We'll go to shops, like comic book shops, and go pick up a comic book. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? So she was interested in going to the conventions, like you guys have met her plenty of times at the conventions.
Yes,
But she loves doing that. She loves hanging out with the wives and stuff like that. They kind of go off and do their own thing. So, like, like I said, it started back up in 2013, and then I got introduced to Bobby and all them, and it just kind of went from there. And then I started collecting more, and now look where I'm at. I mean, just in these short few years, I mean, I've collected, Jesus, I think I've got like 4,000 figures, something like that, plus or minus, something like that, with different various lines.
Museum. You got a museum over there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn around and like we were talking about before, maybe cutting back on some of the stuff. Just because, like, the love was there. It's like, okay, I got it. Now I'm just like, all right, kind of move some of that stuff aside for the stuff that I really want. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at, man.
And that can be hard, man. Let's be transparent. That can be hard when you've amassed some stuff and you kind of got to commit to certain things, and you kind of remember where you were when you got it, and especially with your story, Lowry, losing everything in a fire as a kid, going through a divorce, losing everything, and then you start to buy some things that help you get through a situation. That can be hard to dwindle down on some of that stuff, man. Yeah, man. Dang. Mike, what about you, man? What helped you get to to where you are right now? You got a museum there too?
Well,
no doubt.
There's a different question there, is how I got to where I am now and how I got into collecting. So, if we're talking about how I got into collecting, my mother's told me this story, actually. I was 5 years old. I would run up to her for probably...
Wait. You got to narrate this as your mom now.
Where's your wig, dude? You got to do a wig.
Right to me, bro. Do
Nice.
My bad. Go ahead, dude.
She told me that I was breaking her chops for like 3 months about the Z truck. I wanted the Z truck. The Z truck. She had no idea what the hell I was talking about.
What is that?
What's the Z truck?
One day we're sitting in front of the TV and the commercial comes on, and there's Optimus Prime. Driving past, and that zigzag on that trailer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
And Mom got me the Z truck, and then it was on like Donkey Kong. So,
nice, dude.
Ever since then, man, it's been G1, it's been G2. Like, one thing that I will say, up until recently, it was always one thing. So I wasn't collecting G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats. It was always one thing. So Transformers was pretty much the first thing, then G2, obviously. And then, girls started coming along, and this is probably
collecting numbers.
School. What's that?
Collecting numbers. You had that beeper, son.
Yeah. Mike's pager always ringing 911.
So I stopped with the toys there, but I didn't stop the collecting. You can't stop the collecting. So that's when I got into the comic cards, and I got a whole bunch of that stuff, and that's what I got to talk to E. Wells about later. And then, I got into a relationship pretty early in life, which I wound up marrying my wife. I met her when I was on my 20th birthday. So right around there, you were starting to see things like MPO1 and the commemorative reissues and things like that. And that I went, at that point, I ain't got no one to impress anymore. She's cool with it. I don't give a shit. And I went all in. And I got every Transformer you could possibly imagine. And that was always my thing. And I was always an official guy. Well, then third party comes along. And I get burned once or twice, long story short, by third party. And I start using reviews. And I watch Optibotimus literally break a fucking Kronos on his channel, and he still couldn't bring himself to say anything bad about this thing. And I'm like, I can't trust this guy. These guys are, these guys are trying to sell me a toy. This isn't a review. This is bullshit. So I start surfing around and start trying to get other opinions. And I see some skull face guy, like some guy in a mask. What the fuck is this? And I'm like, honestly, I didn't give him a shot at first. And I'm like, I skipped over it. And then he kept on popping up my feed over and over and over again. So I'm like, I'll give him a shot. And dude, the guy spoke the truth, and that's his thing. He speaks the truth. He tells you how it is. You don't hold no punches.
Yep.
He will tell you what's up, and you can trust what the guy says. And I really felt like I could, so I went out and I took that plunge, and I bought that extra figure that I didn't think I was ever going to get. And that third party purchase turned into that tour that you guys saw 2 weeks ago. And
nice.
I swear I owe just about everything to Bobby in his reviews. And if I hadn't gone down to Reston to meet him a couple of years ago, I wouldn't know any of you. He pretty much got me into this whole thing. So big
shout out to him. Bobby.
Absolutely.
Wait, so Mike, was that your first interaction with the realm too?
So the whole story is I had just broke up with my girl probably like a year before, and I wanted to go do something, and I saw one of Bobby's videos, and he said, I'm going to be at TFCon, and I'm like, let me start doing some research. I'm resting in Virginia. That's 5 hours away. That's not bad. Yeah. I want to go meet this guy. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going to TFCon. I've never been there, and I'm going to meet Bobby Skullface. It's going to be great.
Yep.
I had no idea any of this was around. I didn't know I didn't know what The Rock was. I didn't know anybody of anything. And then I go up, I meet Bobby. We have a drink at the bar. Next thing I know, I'm in his video, and I'm in a rock party.
Yep.
I think I met you. I think I met you at the third party.
That's it. Yeah, man.
You know, and then you sitting at the couch at the party. I'm like, oh, this is great,
dude. Man, this is the perfect place for me to chime in, dude.
Yep.
Perfect place for me to chime in. So, my first year ever going to anything of this magnitude. Now, I had gone to a couple of local cons here. We used to go to Motor City Comic Con with my boy Anthony. Eric, you met him. I think you may have met him too. But my boy Anthony Lewis, my wife for my birthday had bought me tickets to go down to TFCon, bought me a flight. The only thing I had to pay for was my spending money, and that was it. So shout out to her. She's part of this problem that I have now. No, I'm but shout out to her for that, man. But what was crazy, man, is I get down there. It's just me and Anthony. So I'm glad I went with somebody because I knew nobody. I was just there to, check out Transformers, buy a few things, go there for the experience and get back. And I get invited I go to the third party panel. I meet Mike. And Mike, did you also hear the rock guys always saying stuff when the third party panel was going on, but it was almost in like unison? Yeah, and I was like, dude,
that was the first one.
Dude, I'm like,
I remember.
Who are these guys? And they seem like a crew. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. I was sitting next to you, wasn't I? We were
you were sitting next to me, bro. And
that's how we met.
Yeah, we struck up a conversation. We were cool. I think actually we changed numbers on that Sunday, on the way out, or even probably at the third party panel that night. Not third party panel, the Agabus party.
Yeah,
that Saturday night. I think that's when we exchanged parties because you were at the same party that I just so happened to get invited to, man. And the rest was history. I seen Bobby in there, and when people were taking picture, he had the skull on. I didn't even know who he was, and even I didn't know of his reviews or none of that. And then you seen his real face afterwards, and it was just such a chill and laid back event, man. And everybody was talking, and everybody was cool with each other, and it was like, man, like this is the cool side of nerdom. It's not the stigma that's put on nerds all the time, man. And I thought it was really cool. And I joined the realm, and Chris accepted me as the one of the admins that accepted me into the group. And I thanked him on Sunday, and the rest is history, man. And I'm gonna work backwards now because after meeting, Mike and them, and exchange numbers, and that's my guy. Like Mike knows he's my dude, man. I love that guy. And then working backwards, man. I have been collecting since whenever MPO1 came out to GameStop. I think it was 2008, the one that had like the 20th anniversary. It had the battle damage and stuff on it. It might have been 2008, something like that. Yeah. But I was able to pre-order it because I was an assistant store manager for GameStop at the time, and it was $99. And I just knew in the back of my head, this is coming with a trailer, even though all the pictures just showed me the cab and all the stuff that was in the box. I just knew for $99 this was coming with a trailer. And it didn't. But that was probably when I had just gotten to Transformers as a collector. As a kid, I was a kid playing with toys. I wasn't collecting anything. But I had an interest in it. That's what sparked it. So as a kid, I had G.I. Joes because they were cheap and my mom could afford them. And I had GoBots. They were cheap, so my mom could afford them. They were like $2 or $3 at the time for some of the smaller ones. And they went up in price as you got to the bigger ones, but I could afford that. And I remember when I was just the only child at the time, up until the age of 7, one Christmas, my mom bought me the entire line of the Bionic 6.
Whoa.
Now, I don't know anything about the Bionic 6. They were like G.I. Joes, but die cast with translucent pieces on them.
Yeah, I remember those.
I remember those things.
The vehicles were great. I had the base. I had all the villains. I had all the heroes. I mean, she went nuts on that. And then my brother came, and we had to scale back a little bit, but she still tried to make sure we had fun stuff as a kid. I had the Sub-Zero piece. So long story short, man, I got into the love and idea of having toys at a young age. My brother's father used to get us collector's cards. So I had the Marvel Collector Universe card set. I had the X-Men one that they came out with. Now, he was also a collector too. So he gave me the cards, but he kept the hologram stuff, and he kept it for a while and then sold it. But he taught me the importance of taking care of my stuff. And that's something that I appreciated. He wanted to make sure we had fun stuff too, man. And then you fast forward, I'm probably like 25 when that probably 24 when that MP08 came out. And then I had the whole run of the Transformers Armada, and that was it. I was back into it. My love for toys, and I was into collecting, and that was the start of it for me, man. I had
you still have your Armada?
I don't. I sold the whole lot. I want to say probably 2-3 years after finishing the whole line, I sold the whole lot for a little over $1,200. And back then, that was almost like maybe a 10%, 15% cut, and they were all open, which was crazy. But I kept all the boxes, so I think that it's a story called Time Travelers, which a lot of people in the Michigan area know about Time Travelers. They've been around since I was a kid, and even longer than that. So, but yeah, that's me. That was me, man. That's how I got into collecting, and how I got into the community is exactly what we said. It was TFCon Wrestling 2017. Got a chance to meet Mr. Mike. Got a chance to hook up with the Ram at that point, and then I started getting involved in the Facebook groups, and I joined a Hangout. Actually, it wasn't even a Hangout. It was the 300th or 200th episode of Enter the Realm, and they were bringing people on to ask a question, answer a question, and get the heck out.
I think they just had 200, didn't they?
Wasn't like whatever it was, whatever the milestone was back in 2018. So whatever milestone show that was, that's when I got on, and that was it, man. I got on, and the rest is history.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. Like,
so anybody got anything else on community stuff?
Like this whole thing actually started like with you guys. Like I met Bobby like in late 2013 at Baltimore Comic-Con. I think that's what it was. And I've actually been in the group since it started. I met them, and I met Roman Collectors. A lot of the guys, we talked for a couple months way before TFCon Charlotte. We went down there, and Beth and I went down there with Antoine Lewis. Went down there. We met up with all of them, and then that wasn't even when the Rome was a page yet. That was just a bunch of people talking everything else. And I think the page was created, I think sometime in late 2014, something like that, November, December, something like that. So, yeah, dude, it's definitely been a fun couple years. And if it wasn't for all them, none of us would have met and do this podcast thing now either.
True.
So,
yeah, man,
been phenomenal.
Is the glue that brought us together.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a rough time. We're not going to be any meetups for a while.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that's true.
It won't be forever.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of what makes what we do even more important now, right? Like we continue to get together. I mean, it's practically hangout style. Like we get together, we talk about a few things here and there, and we just have fun with our bros, man. Have fun with the fellas, and talk about the community. And this is what's gonna keep us going, man. We got to stick together through all of this. And the meetups will come. We'll get back to the meetups, the MEA ups, and the MEAT ups, and also the MEET.
Speaking of which, Eric, that Detroit bone-in, whatever big ass honking piece of meat you were showing off earlier, that was a pretty sexy looking chop you had there, buddy.
Thanks, man.
You don't mind me saying so?
No, I don't mind at all, man. It was a joy to cook. I'll say that. And the wife, she pulled through, man. That cowboy steak was good. I only ate like a piece of the piece that I put on my plate. You got to eat that in thirds, man. It's a lot of meat.
Eat that right off the bone, man. Pick it up.
No, man, I had to cut it off. And actually, if any of you are in the realm of cooks, Facebook group, I put step by step everything I cooked today, with pictures and videos, man. So you guys check that stuff out, man. Let me know what you think. I did a couple of tutorials on, keeping your fire going well and indirect, direct. Just something quick, man. I just wanted to share with the community while I was doing it.
All right, just a quick thing too. I want to say, you guys, before we wrap up, I totally forgot as part of this whole story about how we got into our collecting. I don't know how I forgot this, but the biggest thing that got me started with in this is, I don't know what year, and I'm sure somebody will fact check me. Whatever year that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first appeared, the soft head figures, that was my first toys. My dad bought me that set. I had I don't know if the party wagon came out around the same time as well too,
man.
but I remember I had the party wagon as well. And the thing is, I got that. My pops bought that set for me and the wagon, and somebody else bought me the set again. And so my dad, for some reason, said, "We're not going to open these. We're going to put this set to the side. These are already bought for you. You go ahead and play with."
Wow,
so
your daddy was
nice.
smart, man.
All right, cool.
Started it
He
for
had
you.
no idea what you were starting.
He had no idea. No idea. He didn't even sell them another. He had no idea. So long story short, I still have those today.
Are you
Nice.
serious?
That's great, man.
I'm very
That's
serious.
pretty cool.
I still have the ones in the package.
Bro,
I don't have the ones that I played with, but I have the ones in the package.
Listen,
so long
dude,
story
that's
short,
cool.
That's how I got started in this.
Not just for struggling financially with anything, but if you needed a down payment in your crib, you probably got it right there.
Yeah.
I don't think I put down payment on the house, but god dang.
You never
know,
know.
man. You never know.
You never know.
Sitting
What
up
happened?
They'll buy a boiler.
Yeah. Washer and dryer. Fill out the house, I mean.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. You never know, but
Detolf cases for your man cave.
Yeah, so shout out to my pops.
No, that's good. I'm glad you remembered that, dude. Right at the last.
I did. It just hit me.
That's
hit me.
good stuff.
Nice.
That's good stuff, man. Well, with that, everybody, I think we had a pretty good show, pretty informative, pretty fun show. I think we got a chance to really talk about some stuff that not only pertains to the community, but like just our community personally, our small group of people here. But we got a chance to go over some what ifs, man, and that's always fun. It's fun to speculate. Speculation is fun. Just don't try to take it as fact, guys. We weren't trying to give you any facts. We're just giving you our opinion.
Oh no.
Yeah. We're clearly not about facts.
Yeah, man. So with the virus out there, man, and I'm saying it like we in Raccoon City or something now, but with this.
Well, Corona does spell
Raccoon City or whatever it was.
Corona. But man, it would be an understatement to say that many communities have been hit pretty hard with this. So I know people are still reeling with the new reality that we're dealing with everything being canceled. So this week, man, how do you guys plan to spend your weeks? And let's do some shout outs and get on out of here. Let's start with Eric von Wolfenstein, or should I say Eric von Kornsteinstein?
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
2 hours later, he sees my joke.
Better late than never. Right?
Sorry. No, man, I'm just, I'm usual for me. Get up and go. No, nothing. Our work's still the same. We're still going in. So that's all I'm doing this week is working. See what else happens.
Warrior, man. So you travel. So has that been impacted at all?
They wanted me to go to India a few weeks ago, and then that got shut down. So
yeah.
Yeah, like we are right next door to that. So they got shut down till further notice. So I'm pretty thankful for that one. I'm not bringing anything back.
Yeah, you have to see Bollywood another time. What you say, Mike?
Bollywood.
Yeah, I heard that.
What'd he say?
I said, there's not that many people over there. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
He might not be Corona back, but that curry virus, dude.
Oh no, it's a new strain.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, follow me on your Facebook groups, Eric Von Wolfenstein, and every Thursday here with you, gentlemen.
Hey,
Nice,
cool
nice,
beans,
dude.
cool beans. What about you, Wells? Wells, what about you, bud?
Yeah, everything's gonna remain the same, man. I'm just gonna keep washing my hands and giving everybody dirty looks if they come within 6 feet of me. And it's elbow daps, man. Elbow daps, or fresh friend. Was it fresh friends where they kick their feet? The house party. You know how they kick their feet for the house party.
Kid and play. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
either gonna be that or elbows for the whole week, man. But we're preparing to work from home too. From work.
Like, yo, what up?
Absolutely. This is Wakanda comes back, baby. Wakanda comes back. But yeah, man, no plans this week coming up, man. It's just gonna remain safe, and love you guys. Hope you guys are safe too as well. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, as much as you can, and just be mindful, man. So I hope everybody has a great week. And until next time, we'll nerd up.
Yeah, man. Or shut up. What about you, New York Mike?
I've got pretty much status quo for me. My job don't change none. It just only thing it changes is people stop coming in. So it's going to be a rough one for me personally, especially with sports coming to an end, and everything kind of just snowballs for me. But at least hopefully I'll be able to stay healthy, and that's the key right now. Hopefully this will pass as soon as possible. And I just plan on playing a lot of video games this week. I'm bringing my Switch to work, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Because if I ain't got nothing to do, then I'm going to be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll get Dragon Quest 11 started on Switch. I haven't played it yet. So.
Speaking of that, we actually have a Twitch account I created. So if any of you guys want to get on there, let me know.
Good stuff. Good stuff, man. It's probably a good time for that, especially with everything that's going out there in the world, man. So for all the Twitchers, follow The Nerds Have Spoken on it. That's it, right, Lowry? The Nerds Have Spoken on Twitch.
Yep.
So follow us out there, and you might see Lowry or New York Mike out there. I haven't grasped Twitch yet. Yes, I'm an old fart. Just turned 38 today.
You and me both.
I don't even know what the fuck Twitch is. I thought
me too. I don't know what that is either. That's a thing.
I'm 42, so
yeah, man. Yeah, I think you got us all beat out here, Lowry.
That's one you can win, man. You can have that one. Own it.
Yeah.
Own it.
Respect your elders.
You? Big Papa? No, you Grandpapa Lowry now.
Yeah. All the white and the beard.
Santa Claus Lowry around Christmas time.
Hey, don't tempt me. I'll grow that out and paint it white.
Just don't fall asleep.
Yeah. Don't fall asleep. Oh, man.
I may end up with a mullet or something. He'll just shave the top off and let the back grow.
Hey, you
Come
are
out here looking like Gandalf.
What did you say?
So come out here looking like Gandalf.
I can see him cosplaying as Gandalf.
Gandalf looking Santa, like, oh my God.
I'm gonna buy you a robe. I'm gonna send you a robe. I want you to wear it to the next NJCC when next time we go.
I'm gonna get them Jesus sandals and like walk around with that.
Yeah, man. I get you the staff and everything.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
God.
Love you, big Papa.
Oh, it's all good, brother. Love you guys too.
How's your coming week, and how I mean, you can pretty much work from home, and they're probably sending you home at this point. But what do you got coming up this week? Any shout outs? And let's go from there.
Yeah, man. So right now they've work from home typically Mondays, Wednesdays anyway. So they were talking about literally they've been closing everything down around here. They've been shutting it down. Mm-hmm. And so because of what's going on with me, my bosses are just like, just take precautions. If you need to work from home until further notice, it's fine. So, I mean, pretty much I'll kind of play it by ear. I'm obviously the in-house IT guy also, so I got to go in if something breaks down. So, But outside of that, the week's going to be pretty chill. Bethany's actually off for the next few weeks, so she's chilling. I'm chilling. Just trying to get some work done. And, you can end up finding me on the Facebook groups as Jason Lowry. You can find me on Instagram, same thing. You can find me also with you guys every Thursday, you know, chatting it up, bullshitting, talking shit. You know how it goes. and love you guys, man, for real.
Yeah, man.
Aww.
Yeah, man.
Oh, gross.
He said gross.
At least I didn't offer my meat. I mean, you know.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
God.
don't knock it till you try, big fella.
Right. Some guys on this panel take it. You don't have to offer it.
I'm talking about beef and pork and chicken, guys. Listen, not the other stuff.
Right.
I'm a married man. I'm a married man.
What's that mean?
You got to reiterate that. All right, Eric B, where can they find you at, brother?
Yo, you can find me, Eric B, in your Facebook groups under Eric and Siobhan Burgess, where I share a profile with my wife, who I love very dearly, who supports me tremendously, and not just me, my whole family here, my kids, and her family is awesome as well. So I want to give them a shout out. They have supported me since day one, and oftentimes have been there more for me than my own family. So shout out to them. You know, with the exception of my brothers and sisters on my dad's side, those people are awesome too. But yeah, you can find me there. You can find me on Instagram, Mr._EW82, where I do some toy photography. And then also you can find us on Kennedy's Village. That's Instagram, Twitter, and also on Facebook, where we're doing our best to bridge the gap between sickle cell research and care. Which just became a little bit harder with this virus, but just like this community here, we're going to stick together. We're going to stick together and see this out, ride this out. We've been talking to a couple of people on a couple of different things, making sure we get the word out, the resources out, so we can keep those with sickle cell whose immune system is already weak out of harm's way. But that's pretty much it. That's where you can find me. And with that, guys, the nerds have spoken. Peace.
Yeah. All right, you guys have a good night. Catch you guys next week.
Wash your hands.
Yes, sir. Wash it.